Xiaolin Showdown was one of those early 2000s gems that not enough people talk about. A team of young warriors traveled the world collecting magical artifacts called Shen Gong Wu, battling villains in wild showdowns that could be anything from tag to truth or dare. The show had action, comedy, and some surprisingly deep twists, like Raimundo's journey from hothead to leader. The heroes, Omi, Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay, were fun to watch bounce off each other, while villains like Wuya, Chase Young, and especially Jack Spicer, the evil boy genius, stole the spotlight just as often. Sure, the formula could get repetitive, but when it hit, it was a blast. It might not have been the biggest cartoon of its time, but Xiaolin Showdown mixed martial arts, magic, and comedy into something that still holds up today. So let's begin. 1500 years ago, Grandmaster Dashi battled the Xiaolin witch Wuya for control of the mystical Shen Gong Wu. With great effort, Dashi triumphed, sealing Wuya inside a wooden puzzle box
of good and evil, and
scattering the Shen Gong Wu across the world to keep their power out of evil hands. In the present day, Omi, the Shaolin Dragon of Water, begins his training under Master Feng. He is soon joined by 3 new recruits, Raimundo Pedrosa from Brazil, Clay Bailey from Texas, and Kimiko Tohomiko from Japan. Together, they form the next generation of Shaolin warriors. Guarding them is Dojo Kanojo Cho, a dragon who protects the ancient scroll of the Shen Gong Wu and can sense the activation of these hidden artifacts. Meanwhile, boy genius Jack Spicer receives a mysterious box in the mail.
All right, back to world conquest.
Thinking little of it, he solves the puzzle, unknowingly freeing Wuya. Now, in ghostly form, Wuya manipulates Jack into helping her recover the Shen Gong Wu, promising him ultimate power. The first to reveal itself is the Mantis flip coin in San Francisco, which grants its holder incredible leaping ability.
We've got a Mantis flip coin to find.
Jack and his Jackbots secure it before the Shaolin warriors can intervene. But Dojo soon senses another, the 2-ton tunic in Venice, an indestructible suit of armor. This time, the young monks manage to beat Jack and claim the artifact, though Omi accidentally activates its immense weight, sending everyone crashing into the water. The monks soon learn that the next Shen Gong Wu to awaken is the Eye of Dashi, a powerful amulet that shoots bolts of electricity. Dojo quickly flies them to the location, and they discover the artifact almost at once. However, both Omi and Jack reach for it at the same time, creating a stalemate. As the eye begins to glow, Omi challenges Jack to a Shaolin Showdown, which Dojo explains is the proper way to settle such disputes. The challenge is set as a race across tall stone pillars. Omi wagers the 2-ton tunic, while Jack puts up the Mantis flip coin. With the coin's jumping power, Jack quickly gains the lead. Omi tries using the tunic, but its heavy weight slows him down. Feeling overconfident, Jack pauses the race and commands his Jackbots to attack Omi. However, Omi cleverly uses techniques he picked up from Clay, Kimiko, and Raimundo to defeat the robots. With the Jackbots destroyed, Omi pushes forward, finishes first, and wins the showdown. He claims all 3 Shen Gong Wu, the Mantis flip coin, the 2-ton tunic, and the Eye of Dashi. When the monks return to the temple, Master Feng reveals the true roles of the group. Clay is the Shaolin Dragon of Earth,
the Dragon of Fire,
Kimiko is the Dragon of Fire, and Raimundo is the Dragon of Wind. Together with Omi, the Dragon of Water, they must now protect the world against Wuya and her new partner, Jack Spicer. The Shaolin monks continue their training with an obstacle course. Omi completes it in record time, proud of his speed, but Clay surprises everyone by skipping the obstacles and finishing even faster. Master Feng praises Clay for
well done, Clay.
Thank you, sir.
For using his head instead of just his strength. Soon after, Dojo senses a new Shen Gong Wu, the Fist of Tebigong, and the monks prepare to retrieve it. To balance the team, Master Feng distributes their collected artifacts. Raimundo takes the Mantis flip coin, Kimiko gets the 2-ton tunic, and Clay receives the Eye of Dashi. Omi is left empty-handed, which leaves him frustrated and disappointed. Meanwhile in Paris, Jack Spicer has found the third arm sash and is using it to cause trouble at a cafe. Wuya scolds him for wasting time and pushes him to beat the monks to the fist of Tebegong. Just then, they meet Lamime, a magical mime whose imaginary
What's going on here? Okay, clown.
creations become real. Jack decides to use him as an ally. At the fist's location, the monks battle Jack's drill bots. Clay and Dojo are knocked over a cliff but survive. Lamime traps Omi, Raimundo, and Kimiko in a magic box, forcing Clay and Dojo to chase Jack alone. Clay eventually outsmarts Lamime by punching himself, which knocks the mime out. Meanwhile, Raimundo discovers how to escape the box, freeing his friends. Together, the monks rush off to catch Jack before he can claim the Shen Gong Wu. Clay and Jack both grab hold of the fist of Tebegong. Jack challenges Clay to a Xiaolin Showdown, wagering his third arm sash against the Eye of Dashi that Clay brought.
Wait, hurry.
The challenge is to catch a robin before the other does. Jack immediately chases it, using his jet-powered flying helibot attempting to catch the bird with the third arm sash. Clay, however, stands fast, performing breathing exercises. While Jack erratically tries to catch the bird, Clay finds and picks
Tell me when it's over.
sunflower seeds. Not fully aware of his surroundings, Jack crashes into a tree, which lets the bird freely fly to Clay and eat the seed. Clay successfully demonstrated to the other monks that patience and creative thinking could overcome difficult obstacles. Kimiko and Jack Spicer face off in a Xiaolin Showdown for the monkey staff, a Shen Gong Wu that can turn people into monkeys.
You know this is a showdown, right, Kimiko?
The challenge is a race up a tall mountain. Jack uses the jet butsu to fly, while Kimiko climbs with her own strength. She tries to knock him down with the fist of Tebegong, but her plan backfires. Jack reaches the top first, claiming the monkey staff and winning all 3 Shen Gong Wu in play. Later, the monks travel with Dojo, who has transformed into a Viking longship across Loch Ness. Kimiko is upset over her loss, but Omi only makes things worse by saying that girls are not as skilled as boys. Clay corrects him, explaining that Kimiko's temper cost her the match. Their argument is cut short when Dojo senses the tangleweb comb beneath the lake. Eager to redeem herself, Kimiko dives in and successfully retrieves it. Back at the Xiaolin Temple, Kimiko struggles to control the comb and ends up trapping herself in its magical web. Master Feng explains that she needs
The tangle web comb is a difficult
perfect focus and tests her by having her pour tea without spilling. She fails when the boys distract her. Meanwhile, Jack experiments with the monkey staff, only to discover that it slowly turns him into a monkey. Wuya senses the golden tiger claws activating and insists they must claim it,
Builds them, can transport them.
since it has the power to teleport anywhere in the world. Dojo leads the monks to the Emperor's palace, where the golden tiger claws are hidden. Since the palace doesn't allow just anyone inside, Kimiko calls her wealthy father for help. He agrees, but only if they enter in traditional Asian attire. Kimiko is frustrated when she's forced into a kimono and bun, but accepts. Once inside, she finds a trap door leading to a cavern below the palace, where Jack Spicer and his jackbots are already chasing the golden tiger claws. The monks defeat the robots, but when Jack and Kimiko reach the artifact at the same time, a Xiaolin Showdown is declared. The challenge is a race across a collapsing pathway over lava. Jack wagers the monkey staff, while Kimiko puts up the tangle web comb. Jack sprints ahead, while Kimiko struggles in her formal gown and sandals. She kicks them off and continues barefoot, but when she tries to use the tangle web comb, she tangles herself again. Jack, overconfident, weakens her path and assumes victory.
You must drown out.
Remembering Master Feng's lesson, Kimiko focuses, freeing herself and finally mastering the comb. She steals the monkey staff, making Jack lose his balance. The golden tiger claws fall, but Kimiko uses both Shen Gong Wu together to swing down and claim them. She wins the showdown and earns both items. Raimundo gloats over a bet, forcing Omi and Clay into chores. Omi admits Kimiko taught him about respecting women, but the others laugh when she sprouts a monkey tail from the monkey staff's power. Wuya is very upset that Jack lost yet another Xiaolin Showdown, angrily pointing out that his biggest mistake was underestimating his opponent, especially due to the fact that his opponent happened to be a girl. The girl from before appears dressed in a black leather suit, meowing like a cat. After trouncing all the jackbots, she tells Jack and Wuya to call her Katnape. Wuya is very impressed by all of this, and she recruits Katnape to help reclaim all the Shen Gong Wu and bring the Xiaolin Witch to power. The monks are testing the golden tiger claws when Dojo suddenly senses another Shen Gong Wu, the changing chopsticks. These chopsticks can shrink someone down to the size of a grain of rice. The monks fly to Easter Island to retrieve them, but when they arrive, Wuya, Jack Spicer, and Katnape are already there. Omi and Katnape reach the artifact at the same time, which means a Xiaolin Showdown must take place. Omi chooses a game of tag.
Game of tag.
And wagers the golden tiger claws, while Katnape bets the fist of Tebagong. Omi is full of confidence, but Katnape quickly gains the upper hand. She uses the fist of Tebagong to cause an earthquake, knocking the golden tiger claws out of Omi's grasp. With both artifacts in her possession, Katnape defeats Omi easily. The Xiaolin side then leaves with 3 Shen Gong Wu. Back at the temple, Omi is upset about losing, especially since he cost the monks the golden tiger claws. Kimiko reminds him that losing happens sometimes,
You lost. It happens. Just move on.
and it is better to let it go and move forward. Master Feng, however, steps in with a lesson of his own. He challenges the monks to steal a jade statue from him. Omi, Raimundo, and Kimiko fail quickly, while Clay manages to rope the statue, only for Master Feng to smash it. The monks realize they don't fully understand the lesson, but learn that sometimes not losing can be just as important as winning. Back at Jack's lab, Wuya praises Katnape for winning,
More. In fact, with Cat
and even thinks about replacing Jack with her. But Katnape says she is not really interested in world domination, at least not with Jack and Wuya. Instead, she plays around with the golden tiger claws and then leaves them behind. Soon, the monks hear that Katnape is causing
There are a dozen stories on the web about
trouble at the Mall of the World. They rush to stop her, but she proves too strong. With her cat-like skills, her super kittens, and the claws, she defeats Omi, Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay. After this, the monks sit together and think about where Katnape might go next. Raimundo remembers her obsession with cats, and Kimiko finds a place called Catatonia Land on her laptop. Since it is a cat-themed amusement park, they are sure she will be there.
Malls? Theme parks?
The monks fly on Dojo and find Katnape enjoying herself on a roller coaster. When she gets off, they face her. Clay does not fight girls, but Omi uses this to make a plan. Clay hugs Katnape tightly, and Omi grabs the golden tiger claws. Just then, Jack and Wuya arrive with bloodhound bots. Omi quickly uses the claws to open a portal and throws the bots and the claws inside. Katnape leaves with Jack and Wuya.
You okay, Omi?
The monks feel sad about losing the claws, but they know evil does not have them either, and that is enough. Jack Spicer is searching for a new villain to join the Xiaolin's side. Tubamura, an extremely overweight ninja, comes for an interview. At first, things do not look good, but then Wuya senses the activation of a Shen Gong Wu, the Sword of the Storm. To prove his worth,
Bring you this Sword of the Storm.
Tubamura offers to retrieve it for free, and Jack agrees. At the Xiaolin Temple, Dojo appears sick, but it turns out his symptoms come from the activation of the sword. Omi, who studied the weapon, explains its powers.
Oh man, this dude.
But Raimundo ignores him and daydreams about surfing. The monks travel to Monte Carlo, and while searching, Raimundo mistakes the Sword of the Storm for driftwood. He picks it up but cannot control it. Tubamura arrives and challenges him. Because Raimundo did not listen to Omi earlier, he fails to master the sword and loses. The others later find him buried in the sand. Clay jokes that it is ironic Raimundo was defeated by a wind Shen Gong Wu,
Messed up. Like you guys never.
since wind is his own element. Back at the Xiaolin lair, Tubamura delivers the sword to Jack, but Jack pretends to be unimpressed so he does not have to pay extra. Meanwhile, Raimundo feels guilty about losing. Master Feng explains that it
Defeated by your opponent.
was his lack of knowledge, not Tubimura, that caused the defeat. Motivated, Raimundo begins studying. Soon after, the monks learn that the Shroud of Shadows has activated and they head to Tokyo, where Raimundo faces Tubimura once again. In Tokyo, Raimundo challenges Tubimura to a Shen Yibu Dare, where each side wagers 2 Shen Gong Wu instead of 1. Raimundo adds a twist: they must occasionally swap the Shen Gong Wu during the match.
The Eye of Dashi.
He wagers the Eye of Dashi and the Two-Ton Tunic, while Tubimura puts up the Fist of Tebegong and the Sword of the Storm. The showdown begins, and Tubimura tries to blast Raimundo with the Sword of the Storm. However, Raimundo uses the heavy Two-Ton Tunic to stay grounded. Raimundo then fires the Eye of Dashi, but Tubimura blocks with the Fist of Tebegong. The first swap occurs,
What trickery!
leaving Raimundo with the Fist of Tebegong instead of the tunic. Tubimura nearly knocks him off the platform, but Raimundo barely holds on. Another switch happens, this time giving Raimundo the Sword of the Storm. Tubimura mocks him, saying he will either fall or drop the sword. Instead, Raimundo leaps, combining the Eye of Dashi and the Sword of the Storm. With this power, he controls the wind,
Told you I was a
flies above Tubimura, and easily defeats him. Back at the temple, Master Feng reminds Kimiko and Clay that Shen Yibu Dare is rare and difficult. Meanwhile, Raimundo pretends to study the scrolls, but when Omi sneaks in, Raimundo reveals he was actually playing a video game the whole time. The Xiaolin monks are training their instincts by battling each other with Shen Gong Wu. Omi defeats the others by predicting their choices. Clay uses the Eye of Dashi, but Omi dodges with the monkey staff. Kimiko tries the third arm sash, yet Omi avoids it with the mantis flip coin. Raimundo first picks the Fist of Tebegong, but Omi blocks with the Two-Ton Tunic, which leaves Raimundo shaking from the impact. Raimundo then tries the Tangle Web Comb, but Omi uses no Shen Gong Wu at all and simply watches as Raimundo tangles himself. Proud of his victories, Omi claims the team will have no trouble against Jack Spicer, who only has the Jet Butsu and the Changing Chopsticks. Meanwhile, Jack is busy using the Changing Chopsticks with nanotechnology to create a chameleon bot, able to copy Kimiko's appearance. Wuya and Jack plan to use it to steal the Shen Gong Wu. Soon after, Kimiko receives a message from a secret admirer and goes to the temple vault, where Jack ambushes her. Exhausted from fighting the bot, Kimiko is kidnapped and locked in a shock cage. The next day,
Mundo, those shoes are really
the chameleon bot pretends to be Kimiko. Raimundo and Clay are fooled, but Omi grows suspicious. Later, Wuya senses the Helmet of Zhong has activated. Jack challenges the fake Kimiko in a Xiaolin Showdown, and the bot purposely loses, leaving the monks defeated. Later, Raimundo is still trying to outsmart Omi's tiger instincts, this time with a card game, but Omi wins again with ease. Omi then warns Raimundo and Clay that something seems wrong with Kimiko. However, they laugh it off, with Clay saying Omi sounds junior than a June bug. Still suspicious, Omi decides to follow Kimiko after noticing she barely tried in the showdown. At the vault of Shen Gong Wu, the chameleon bot, disguised as Master Feng, tells Omi that he needs rest. Fooled by the disguise, Omi leaves, only to see the real Master Feng outside moments later. Realizing the trick, Omi rushes to convince Raimundo and Clay that Kimiko is an imposter. While the monks battle the fake Kimiko, Jack sneaks inside with the Changing Chopsticks and steals nearly all the Shen Gong Wu. Just then, the real Kimiko breaks free and joins the fight.
No, she is.
With 2 identical Kumikos in front of them, Raimundo and Clay cannot tell who is real. Omi makes a risky guess and attacks, nearly harming Kimiko before destroying the chameleon bot. In the end, Jack escapes with almost every Shen Gong Wu, leaving only the mantis flip coin behind. Wuya then warns Jack that the rise of Mala Mala Zhong is near. Omi tries to join all the activities his friends are doing at once. He plays soccer with Raimundo, a video game with Kimiko, and
Go on,
practices lasso tricks with Clay. However, he quickly gets tangled up, loses the game, and even scores against himself. Frustrated, Omi wishes he could duplicate himself to keep up. Soon the monks learn about the Ring of the Nine Dragons, a Shen Gong Wu that creates duplicates but divides a person's skills between them.
Here we are!
Dojo guides the group to the Aztec pyramids, where they recover the ring before Jack and Wuya arrive. Back at the temple, Master Feng warns Omi that its power is too dangerous for a dragon in training.
Omi's go. Up for...
Omi ignores this and secretly tries it at night, making 2 clones. Unfortunately, one only plays games and the other eats cookie dough, leaving Omi disappointed.
Even through clay? Hey.
Later, a new Wu, the Falcon's Eye, activates in snowy mountains. Jack and his Jackbots arrive, forcing Omi to split himself again, this time into 5 versions. But the clones prove useless,
No, fine thingy.
causing trouble for the others. One clone finds the Falcon's Eye, yet Jack also reaches it and challenges him to a Xiaolin Showdown. The race ends in chaos, and Omi's clones merge back into one. Jack seizes the Falcon's Eye, leaving the monks with only a single Shen Gong Wu. Everybody returns to the Xiaolin Temple, where Master Feng is upset and waiting for him. The older monk is furious with Omi for disobeying and punishes the young dragon in training by forcing him to do various chores. Raimundo ultimately
Ring of the Nine Dragons. So, now it...
helps Omi and the others feel better about what happened by pointing out how if someone like Omi wasn't ready to use the Ring of the Nine Dragons, a guy like Jack Spicer is probably
to Jack Spicer.
no better off with it. We see that Raimundo's right when the episode ends with Jack messing around with the titular Wu by using it to make 9 copies of himself, with each one being stupider than the last. The Xiaolin monks travel to a volcano to find a newly activated Shen Gong Wu. Inside, they spot a black dragon statue but do not know what kind of Wu it is.
Smiley faces on your fingernails to distract you from your duties.
The boys are annoyed with Kimiko because she forgot the ancient scroll after getting distracted by painting smiling pandas on her nails. Soon, Jack Spicer arrives with his jetpack and claims the Wu. Omi parachutes into the volcano and the others follow. However, due to the rising hot air, Clay is the only one heavy enough to fall. Jack escapes until Omi uses the mantis flip coin to catch him and calls
Some dragon wins.
Piece of...
for a Xiaolin Showdown. They throw the statue into the volcano, and the first to find it wins. Jack uses the Falcon's Eye for an advantage, but Omi manages to catch the statue in his teeth. Back at the temple, Master Feng says he does not recall a black dragon Shen Gong Wu. Kimiko investigates and discovers soot on it. While cleaning, she screams, and the others find her turned into sapphire. Soon, a sapphire dragon appears and begins turning everyone into statues. Despite Dojo's warnings, Omi tries to fight back, but is also captured. Dojo is left alone, terrified as the sapphire statues of his friends chase him through the temple. The sapphire statue of Omi grabs Dojo, but Dojo tries to breathe fire and only manages to puff out soot. To his surprise, the soot bothers the statue, and suddenly remembers that Grandmaster Dashi once hid the sapphire dragon inside a volcano. Dodging the statues, Dojo thinks out loud that maybe if he can re-sootify the dragon, it will return to being harmless and free his friends. He tries again, but the dragon counters with sapphire blue soot, and Dojo shrinks back to normal size, realizing he has no real fire left. Desperate, Dojo runs to Clay's room and
Happy's Texas Tin Horn Sizzler.
finds bottles of super hot sauce. Dressed like a cowboy, he steps outside and whistles, stopping the sapphire dragon and the sapphire statues. Dojo spits on a toothpick and bravely calls the dragon out. The dragon breathes sapphire soot, but Dojo drinks the hot sauce and blasts out a huge wave of fire and soot. The sapphire dragon turns back into stone, freeing everyone. Omi thanks Dojo, and Clay says he always knew
Real fire brewing in.
Dojo had fire in him. Raimundo locks the Wu in the vault, while Dojo proudly asks if this means he's now a dragon warrior. The monks walk away, leaving Dojo arguing that maybe he's the Dragon of Soot. Visiting New York City, Omi looks through a telescope to find the Statue of Liberty. However, when the quarter runs out, he thinks he has gone blind. Kimiko quickly puts in another coin, and Omi is thrilled to finally see Lady Liberty. The Xiaolin dragons are in the city searching for the serpent's tail, a Shen Gong Wu that can outrun anyone who tries to chase it. As they walk through the streets, Dojo loses track of the Wu's location.
We can see through them with this.
Kimiko tries the falcon's eye, but only sees a man picking his nose, leaving her annoyed. Omi takes the eye and successfully spots the serpent's tail running through the sewers. He rushes ahead to capture it, but in the process he gets separated from the others and ends up lost. Meanwhile, Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay notice Omi's absence but are soon attacked by Jack Spicer and his Jack bots. The team works together and defeats them, forcing Jack and Wuya to retreat. On his own, Omi wanders the dark city streets, running into rude strangers and odd people. He then sees
No skills.
three kids playing basketball and mistakes it for a new martial art. After being pushed around, Omi is rescued by a boy named Jermaine. When Jermaine is bullied in return, Omi uses his powers to scare the gang away. The two quickly become friends
That's in Queens, right?
and walk through the city together. At the same time, Dojo and the others enter an abandoned subway station, still searching for Omi. When Jack suddenly pilots a subway train toward them, Dojo nearly gets hit, but Clay saves him with his rope. Dojo then transforms into a train,
Next up, Serpent's Tail!
allowing the Xiaolin dragons to chase after Jack. Omi explains to Jermaine who he is and what he and the other dragons in training do. Jermaine doesn't really believe the story, but he decides to play along and help. Since Omi looks odd in his monk robes, Jermaine helps him blend in with the locals. A woman even mistakes Omi's robes for pajamas, which embarrasses him.
Am I, as you say, blinging?
Jermaine then gives Omi a modern urban outfit, making him look more normal in New York City. Not long after, Jack Spicer appears with a huge robot called the Transforming Bot. He is about to blast Omi and Jermaine, but Dojo bursts from the ground with Kimiko, Raimundo, and Clay on his back. They knock the robot down, and Raimundo runs to hug Omi, happy to see him again. The battle stops when Omi calls for a Xiaolin Showdown.
Basketball.
Jack chooses basketball as the challenge, the first to reach 30 points. Omi knows nothing about basketball, so Jermaine offers to play with him. Omi agrees, making it a 2-on-2 game. Omi and Jermaine against Jack and his robot. At first, Jack and the robot take the lead, but Jermaine uses the Mantis flip coin and scores point after point. With the score tied, the robot knocks Jermaine out, leaving Omi alone. Omi leaps with the coin, bounces off the robot, and slam dunks the winning point. The Xiaolin team claims the serpent's tail. Omi thanks Jermaine and invites him to join the temple, but Jermaine kindly refuses, choosing to remain in New York. Before leaving, Jermaine gives Omi a basketball as a gift, promising they will stay friends. Omi and Raimundo decide to test
Of course. Remember, if the hat does...
Clay's 10-gallon hat by pouring milk into it. Omi is surprised to learn that milk can come from cows, since the temple only uses goat milk. When Clay arrives, he is furious to see his ruined hat. Realizing Omi could not have planned this, he chases Raimundo until Master Feng interrupts,
His boy.
announcing a visitor, Clay's father. Daddy Bailey is unimpressed with the temple and tells Clay he wants him back at the ranch. Just then, Dojo senses a new Shen Gong Wu, the Orb of Tornami, and notices the star on Daddy Bailey's jacket.
Already has the Shen Gong Wu, but we can still...
The dragons head to an old western town, where they find Jack Spicer and Wuya already holding the orb. Jack nearly escapes, but when Clay rushes in against Omi's sneaky plan, Jack takes advantage and flees with the Wu. Angry, Daddy Bailey orders Clay to leave the temple for good. Back at the temple, everyone misses Clay,
I miss Clay.
It's not really this.
and Omi even tries imitating his sayings. Soon, Dojo realizes that Daddy Bailey's star is actually the Shen Gong Wu called the Star Hanabi. Fearing danger, the team rushes to the Bailey Ranch.
Lone Star has been in the family since the...
But Mr. Bailey refuses to believe them, claiming the star has been in the family for generations. He challenges Clay to prove himself by showing he's truly a man. Jack Spicer arrives at the Bailey Ranch to claim the Star Hanabi. Using the Orb of Tornami, he floods the land and
You alright, Daddy?
Yeah.
quickly defeats Daddy Bailey, tying him up with ropes. In the chaos, the Star Hanabi falls from Mr. Bailey's shirt and sinks into the water. Both Jack and Clay grab it at the same time, which activates a Xiaolin Showdown. Clay tosses the star into the barn, declaring that the challenge will be to find it in the haystack. The showdown begins with both competitors riding flying saddles. Clay uses the serpent's tail to pass through the haystack, while Jack, tired of the Orb of Tornami, switches to the Sword of the Storm. However, Clay's focus is broken as his father keeps yelling orders from the sidelines. At one point, Daddy Bailey shouts for a pitchfork, causing dozens of flying pitchforks to rain down on both Jack and Clay. Jack then uses the Sword of the Storm to summon a cyclone, destroying most of the haystack. Realizing his father's constant shouting is holding him back, Clay finally speaks up. He tells Daddy Bailey he can handle things on his own. With renewed confidence, Clay outsmarts Jack and wins the showdown, earning both the Star Hanabi and the Sword of the Storm. Clay tries to give the Star Hanabi to his father, but Daddy Bailey refuses,
What with saving the world and all.
admitting Clay belongs at the temple. Before leaving, Omi tricks old Bessie into giving milk, but the cow kicks him into the air again.
Work here is done.
He proudly declares he has completed his mission. At the Xiaolin Temple, Omi, Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay are bored since no new Shen Gong Wu has appeared for weeks. Clay counts exactly 2 weeks,
Why not?
4 days, and 6 hours. And to pass the time, the group works together to pull a giant rock out of the water and
Why not?
onto a cliff. As usual, they argue while working. Clay complains that Kimiko is not pulling her weight, and Kimiko snaps back, teasing him for his loud snoring.
Him when you're on the cell phone 20...
Things get worse when Raimundo and Clay make fun of Kimiko for her cell phone habits and Valley Girl style. Kimiko quickly defends herself,
Playing non-stop about Raimundo's music.
even mocking Clay's country accent. Clay insists he does not sound like that. Omi tries to calm everyone down and focus them on teamwork, but instead the group loses balance and falls off the cliff into the water while Master Feng watches in disappointment. When they climb back up, Kimiko blames Omi, while Raimundo and Clay agree that his goody-goody attitude is annoying. Frustrated, they walk away from him in different directions. Later, the group sits together again at the temple, but the bickering continues,
Maybe if his shadow wasn't so fat and huge.
and Clay refuses to move. Omi tries to pass messages between them, but this only annoys Raimundo, who finally yells that they are all giving him a headache. At that moment, Dojo suddenly senses not 1, but 4 new Shen Gong Wu. Shocked and excited, the team sets out to find them. Meanwhile, Jack Spicer is busy trying to build more jackbots, but Wuya won't stop nagging him. When she senses the new Shen Gong Wu, she changes Jack's mind and calls in extra help. Katnapa, Chameleon Bot, and
Someone mentioned there would be...
Tabamura all join Jack's side. On Dojo's back, the monks split up to search for the 4 Wu. Kimiko is dropped near a jungle for the Lotus Twister. Raimundo at a beach for the Longi Kite. Clay in icy terrain for the Tongue of Siping. And Omi in a desert for the Sunchai Lantern. Kimiko finds the Lotus Twister, but Katnapi challenges her to a showdown, jumping across giant gators. Kimiko slips up and Katnapi wins the Wu. Raimundo spots the Longi Kite, but realizes a beach girl is really Chameleon Bot. They play hide and seek for the Wu.
Can I give me the edge?
Even with the Falcon's Eye, Raimundo is outsmarted and loses. On the ice, Clay faces Tubimura. They race for the Tongue of Siping,
Changing chopsticks!
But Tobimura uses his changing chopsticks to shrink and claim victory. He even traps Clay in a bag afterward. In the desert, Omi challenges Jack for the Sunchi Lantern. The race requires each to carry a full glass of water. Jack's monkey staff gives him an advantage, but Omi wins by holding the water in his mouth and leaping to the Wu. Omi returns to the temple excited, only to learn from Master Feng that his friends have been captured. It's a trap. Omi fights the Xiaolin alone, using the Sunchai Lantern to channel his friends' elemental powers and defeat the villains. The monks reconcile, pull the giant rock
Well done.
together at last, and head inside. Master Feng, watching, sighs as the boulder crushes his foot. At Jack Spicer's house, Jack is busy with a spreadsheet to
We have the Eye of Dashi. They have the
keep track of all the Shen Gong Wu. Wuya scolds him for not taking the hunt seriously, but their argument is cut short when a new Wu reveals itself, the Heart of Zhong. The Xiaolin warriors arrive in a forest to search for it. After Omi is attacked by a squirrel, he manages to spot the Heart of Zhong. Before he can claim it, Jack snatches it away. Clay blocks his escape, and Jack accepts a Xiaolin Showdown. Omi challenges Jack to collect as many acorns as possible before time runs out. Omi uses the jet butsu to soar through the trees, while Jack relies on the lotus twister to stretch his arms. Despite Omi's efforts,
I'll take that.
Jack wins the showdown, leaving with both the jet butsu and the Heart of Zhong. Back at the temple, Omi is upset about losing. Master Feng comforts him,
We should endeavor to win all the...
saying that one Wu lost is not the end of the world. But Feng soon grows concerned, realizing Wuya now has the Heart of Zhong. With it, she can awaken an ancient warrior, Mala Mala Zhong. In Jack's lab, the pieces of Mala Mala Zhong are assembled. The two-ton tunic forms the body, the Fist of Tebagong and Third Arm Sash create the arms, and the Shroud of Shadows hangs as a cape. Jack adds the Eye of Dashi, Helmet of Zhong, Jet Butsu, and finally the Heart of Zhong, bringing the warrior to life. Wuya then abandons Jack and marches with Mala Mala Zhong to attack the Xiaolin Temple. At the temple, Master Feng warns the monks of Zhong's power. He orders the young warriors to take
Before the end of...
the remaining Wu and flee, even as Raimundo protests. They leave on dojo, just as Wuya and her giant soldier appear on the horizon. Wuya orders Mala Mala Zhong to attack the Xiaolin Temple, and the giant warrior smashes through with ease. The monks fight bravely, but cannot stand against the power of so many Shen Gong Wu at once. Wuya searches for the other Wu, but Master Feng tells her that the chosen ones already left with them. Angry, she learns that even he does not know where they went. Meanwhile, high on Mount Hong, the young warriors plan their next move. They realize the Heart of Zhong is the key. If they remove it, the warrior will break apart
It is a most
back into the Shen Gong Wu. Clay suggests using the serpent's tail, but Kimiko points out that the Eye of Dashi's lightning would stop them. When Omi looks to Raimundo for help, he finds Raimundo is gone, and so is the Sword of the Storm. Back at the temple, Raimundo has returned to fight alone. He tries using the Sword of the Storm, but Mala Mala Zhong takes it from him and blasts him down. Wuya shrinks into Raimundo's mind and learns where the others are hiding. At Mount Hong, Omi digs underground with the serpent's tail to retrieve the golden tiger claws. Clay and Kimiko fight bravely with their Wu, but they fall.
Mala junk goes bust, and now you expect...
Omi rises with the tiger claws and pulls out the Heart of Zhong, saving them all. Mala Mala Zhong falls apart, and Wuya retreats. Later, Omi, Kimiko, and Clay are rewarded with sashes as new apprentices. Raimundo, however, is left out for disobeying orders. Feeling betrayed, he storms off in anger. From the shadows, Wuya watches, already plotting to turn Raimundo to her side. After Mala Mala Zhong's defeat,
nice.
Wuya slithers back to Jack Spicer, hoping to team up again. But Jack, tired of her insults, refuses. He has built his own Shen Gong Wu detector and says he doesn't need her anymore. At the temple, the Xiaolin warriors train with their new apprentice ranks. Omi, Kimiko, and Clay proudly combine their elements with Shen Gong Wu. Raimundo, however, cannot do the same. When Omi mocks him, Raimundo loses patience.
You motivated me right out of here.
He grabs the golden tiger claws and storms off, traveling back home to Brazil. Sitting on a cliff in Rio, Raimundo is approached by Wuya. She cannot hurt him without a body, but she tempts him with promises of wealth and freedom. She even surrounds him with an illusion of luxury.
Anything your heart is.
Raimundo refuses, but his voice shows doubt. Wuya senses a new Shen Gong Wu, the reversing mirror, and keeps pressing him to join her.
I gotta go.
Raimundo ignores her and uses the tiger claws to rejoin his team. The warriors arrive at a lighthouse where the mirror is hidden. Wuya cannot touch it, so Jack tries, but Raimundo reaches it too. A Xiaolin Showdown begins, flashlight tag. After a tough chase, Raimundo outsmarts Jack with the golden tiger claws and wins. Omi praises him,
Where do you want him?
but Raimundo turns to Wuya. At last, he accepts her offer. Using the tiger claws, he vanishes at her side, leaving the team in shock. Meanwhile, Raimundo and Wuya
I thought we were...
have returned to Brazil, and Wuya tells him the rest of her plan. He needs to return to the temple and steal the serpent's tail. Raimundo refuses,
Ever wondered what it would be like to...
claiming he never wants to go to the temple again. Wuya manages to convince him after promising him his own soccer team, along with the other luxuries she offered. At night at the temple, the monks try to occupy themselves. However, Omi is not entirely focused,
Sitting on my spurs wouldn't hurt.
as his thoughts are on Raimundo. Kimiko cannot believe that he would betray them for failing to achieve apprentice level. Omi then claims that perhaps Raimundo has not, and that this is all an elaborate scheme to lure evil into a false sense of security. Clay and Kimiko's disbelief is interrupted by the sound of somebody opening
Someone's opening...
the Shen Gong Wu vault. Raimundo, now with his hood over his head, walks out holding the serpent's tail as the Xiaolin warriors arrive. Omi does not see the problem, still believing this to be an elaborate scheme. Kimiko and Clay know better and start to fight. Raimundo beats them by smashing the skylight, giving him access to his wind element. Omi realizes that Raimundo is not just pretending to be their enemy, but by then, it is too late. Raimundo uses the serpent's tail to fly right through him and away. Later, Master Feng arrives to
This is most troubling.
inspect what Raimundo has done, and the monks are confused at the fact that Raimundo only took that one Shen Gong Wu. However, Master Feng realizes Wuya's plan. The serpent's tail makes a solid person ghostly, capable of flying through objects, so the reversing mirror would allow it to make a ghostly person solid. Wuya is trying to return to her true form. Dojo and the warriors immediately fly out. Luckily, Dojo can catch the scent of the serpent's tail. On the cliff, Raimundo jokes about Wuya's over-eagerness to get this started. However, before they can begin, the warriors reach them.
You know what I don't miss? Omi constantly...
When Raimundo tries to taunt Omi, Omi uses the moment to kick the serpent's tail out of his hands, and the group plays keep away with him. Raimundo turns the tables by using the golden tiger claws to disappear. He leaps out behind Clay, kicking him to the ground and grabbing the tail from his hands.
Tail!
He quickly activates it, flying toward Wuya and the mirror, immune to anyone stopping him. As Raimundo reaches the mirror, Wuya activates it, and a bright light surges from the heights. As it fades, the surrounding countryside turns black. Rivers dry up, and leaves disappear from the trees. Where the mirror was stands a woman wearing Wuya's mask. She quickly removes her mask to reveal her true, rather youthful and beautiful face. The Xiaolin witch was all-powerful again, and nothing could stop her. Dojo cowers in fear as Omi asks if that is Wuya.
The flesh.
Wuya answers, "In the flesh," laughing manically. Wuya had regained her body, and chaos spread across the world with Raimundo standing proudly at her side. Omi attacked first with the Orb of Tournami, trapping her in ice, but Wuya shattered it with ease. Raimundo watched in shock while Wuya smirked and called for the next challenger. Kimiko fired the star Hanabi, knocking Raimundo back, yet Wuya only laughed that it barely tickled. Raimundo grinned wickedly, enjoying the destruction. Clay tried with the third arm sash, but instead Raimundo was thrown into the sky as Wuya mocked their failure. None of the Shen Gong Wu had any effect. She threw Clay into Kimiko and Omi, and then raised stone golems to surround them. The monks escaped on Dojo, but Kimiko wondered how they could fight such a powerful witch. Clay admitted they were outclassed and out of luck, and even Omi lost hope when Wuya's palace rose from the ground. Her golems struck again, knocking them from the sky, but Raimundo appeared with the golden tiger claws and ordered the creatures to stop. When Omi asked if he had seen his mistake, Raimundo said his evil ways were only beginning. Yet Jack Spicer suddenly attacked the golems, saving the monks. He explained that Wuya's rule meant he could never rule.
Wuya.
He did.
So he needed their help. Back at the palace, Raimundo told Wuya of Jack's arrival, but she dismissed him, saying Jack was nothing compared to her plans of conquering the world. Wuya declared herself ruler of the world. Raimundo, uneasy, admitted he hadn't expected this. To keep him loyal, Wuya created a game room filled with every game he ever dreamed of. Smiling, Raimundo ran inside while Wuya watched with a sly grin. By a ravine, Clay washed his hat and complained that what Jack had done to it was not right. Jack only told him to stop whining and added that Clay was lucky he had eaten a light breakfast. While skipping a rock across the water, admitted that she was stumped and wondered how they were supposed to beat Wuya if the Shen Gong Wu no longer worked. Dojo suggested that they could
Stretch. But what if we
dump a bucket of glue on her. Kimiko questioned how glue could possibly stop Wuya's global reign of evil, but Dojo explained that he meant a really big bucket of glue. Clay, still wringing out his hat, said that without Master Feng they would never defeat Wuya. Omi remembered that Grand Master Dashi had been the only one to defeat her, but Dojo reminded him that Dashi had lived 1,500 years ago. Kimiko added that it would only be possible to ask him if they had a time machine. At that moment, Jack proudly announced that he had
Jack Spicer's evil time machine.
built an evil time machine. Kimiko thought he was overusing the word evil, but Jack insisted it was branding. He showed them the machine, which could only send him back 2 seconds in time.
And why is that?
Clay asked why, and Omi realized that the Eye of Dashi could provide the limitless energy needed. Jack quickly pretended that the idea had been his. Meanwhile, Raimundo sat in his game room feeling down. Although Wuya had given him everything he wanted, he admitted that none of it mattered without friends. Wuya responded by summoning golems to keep him company. Raimundo looked at them
You guys like air hockey?
and asked if they liked air hockey, and to his surprise, they all nodded. Jack pressed the buttons and pulled the lever to activate the time machine while wearing his goggles. He told Omi that he looked ready to go. Dojo asked Omi if he was sure about doing this, since time travel was very dangerous and he might even end up as his own grandpa. Omi replied that his safety was a small matter
You may need the rest for your battle.
when the world was under evil's rule. Clay remarked that Omi might need more Shen Gong Wu than just the Orb of Tournami, but Omi said the others might need them for their battle against Wuya's forces. Kimiko hugged Omi and asked him to be careful, making him blush. Omi said he would have a legendary Grand Master to protect him, though he also asked if he could have another hug. Annoyed, Kimiko remarked that he was ready. Jack explained that the time machine was set
I
to
won't bore you with the exceedingly complicated
send Omi back 1,500 years. He added that although the calculations were complicated, it should land him near the Xiaolin Temple. Omi said goodbye to his friends as he walked toward the machine. Dojo told him to tell Dashi
Sorry about the shit.
that he was sorry about the shirt, leaving Omi confused until Dojo insisted Dashi would understand. Jack then told Kimiko to power it up, calling her baby, which made her tell him not to call her that. She used the Eye of Dashi to activate the machine, placed the Shen Gong Wu inside, and Omi entered it while she called his name. Kimiko grew extremely angry with Jack Spicer for failing to bring Omi back from the past. At that moment, Wuya's golems broke into Jack's headquarters.
Back full of trouble.
I hear that.
Kimiko and Clay Bailey tried to stop them, but they failed. Dojo, frightened, asked Jack if he was going to help fight, but Jack simply ordered his bots to destroy the golems. However, a much larger golem tore Jack's house apart before their eyes. Soon more golems appeared and swallowed Kimiko, Clay, Dojo, and Jack, locking the 3 humans and the dragon inside cages. Meanwhile, Raimundo enjoyed his new life as a villain. He played with his golem friends, though one of them ate the air hockey puck and possibly destroyed the basketball hoop. Wuya then checked on Raimundo, who called her the good time gal, and asked for another puck so they could play. She told him later, explaining that she had a surprise.
Let me out!
The capture of Jack, Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo. Raimundo pointed out that Omi was missing. Shocked, Wuya demanded to know Omi's location from the prisoners, but they refused. When she tried to use magic to force the truth, Jack betrayed them by admitting Omi had gone 1,500 years into the past
Omi is in the past?
to meet Grandmaster Dashi. Hoping for freedom, Jack begged Wuya to release him, but she coldly refused. Clay suddenly told everyone to wait, saying that he might have spoken too soon. At that moment, Omi appeared inside the dungeon from the manhole, agreeing with Clay that he certainly had. The lid spun back into place. Dojo quickly warned Omi to look out as golems appeared behind him. Omi turned, used the orb of Tornami to freeze them, and then kicked the frozen golems apart before greeting his friends. Kimiko asked Omi how he managed to get there, and he began explaining that it was a long story full of surprises and cheer. Jack interrupted, telling him that he should first get them out before Wuya arrived. Omi agreed and froze the cell doors, allowing Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo to break free. Jack hurt his hand trying to do the same and asked for help, so Omi tapped the bars and freed him too. Later, as they sat by a fire, Clay said they should be safe for a while. Dojo, Kimiko, and Clay questioned Omi about how he returned from the past. Omi explained that when Jack sent him back with no way to return,
Fortunately, I had Grandmaster...
he had panicked until Grandmaster Dashi advised him to wait patiently. Inspired, Omi
So that's what I...
froze himself with the orb of Tornami for 1,500 years until Wuya raised her palace, which released him. Everyone was shocked, but Kimiko offered him a warm hug. Omi then revealed that Dashi had given him another puzzle box to trap Wuya, though he admitted he did not know how to open it. Jack proudly claimed he could handle that part, since he had done it before. Raimundo was stacking playing cards out of boredom until Dojo burned them. Kimiko noticed and asked why he looked so bored for someone ruling the world. Raimundo asked if they had decided to join him, but Clay firmly replied that he would rather kiss the back of a mule. Raimundo had not realized that Omi had already helped Kimiko, Clay, Dojo, and Jack escape.
Escaped, Raimundo, so be cool and let us go.
Kimiko calmly told Raimundo to let them go, while Dojo teased that otherwise he would just be a loser chasing after them. Raimundo warned them to run because he was coming after them, pulling his hood over his head.
Away.
Kimiko told him to have it his way, and soon he and his golems chased them. Although they defeated some of the monsters, Raimundo summoned more with a snap of his fingers. After a while, he noticed that Kimiko and Clay were not flying away on Dojo, realizing it was all a distraction. He quickly recalled the monsters to warn Wuya, allowing the golems to capture Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo again. Meanwhile, Jack tried to sneak up on Wuya and open the box, but he failed. Omi also tried and failed, and their noise alerted Wuya.
Threat to me?
She captured them, took the box, and reunited all of them in her grasp. Wuya then ordered the golems to crush them, but Raimundo grew worried, realizing he did not want his friends harmed. When the puzzle box fell into his hands, he opened it, and Dashi's magic trapped Wuya back inside. The palace collapsed as the monks and Jack escaped with Dojo's help. After the explosion, the wasteland became green again, and Raimundo happily fist-bumped Omi, received a kiss from Kimiko, and high-fived Clay, while Jack gave a thumbs up.
Riches and glory you betray.
Back at the temple, Master Feng confronted Raimundo. Omi and the others defended him, saying he had saved them all. Raimundo admitted he had caused damage but promised to do whatever it took to make things right. Master Feng offered him the apprentice sash.
It's not that I don't want it, Master Feng,
But Raimundo humbly refused, saying he was not ready yet, though he would be someday with Omi's help. Later, as the group rested, Clay remarked that it was as if Wuya had never ruled the world, and Kimiko agreed. Jack tried to leave, but Omi stopped him, telling him he had fought well and should stay with them to train for good. Jack rejected the idea,
Forget it. Next time we meet,
saying they would be enemies again, though he suggested that maybe one day they could all share ice cream. The group happily agreed. Meanwhile, among the ruins of Wuya's palace, Katnape discovered the puzzle box and purred with delight. Clay suddenly told everyone to wait, saying that he might have spoken too soon. At that moment, Omi appeared inside the dungeon from the manhole, agreeing with Clay that he certainly had. The lid spun back into place, and Kimiko, Jack, and Clay all called out Omi's name at once. Dojo quickly warned Omi to look out as golems appeared behind him. Omi turned, used the orb of Tornami to freeze them, and then kicked the frozen golems apart before greeting his friends. Kimiko asked Omi how he managed to get there, and he began explaining that it was a long story full of surprises and cheer. Jack interrupted, telling him that he should first get them out before Wuya arrived. Omi agreed and froze the cell doors, allowing Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo to break free. Jack hurt his hand trying to do the same and asked for help, so Omi tapped the bars and freed him too.
so obvious.
Later, as they sat by a fire, Clay said they should be safe for a while. Dojo, Kimiko, and Clay questioned Omi about how he
Fortunately, I had Grandmaster
returned from the past. Omi explained that when Jack sent him back with no way to return, he had panicked until Grandmaster Dashi advised him to wait patiently. Inspired, Omi froze himself with the orb of Tornami for 1,500 years until Wuya raised her palace,
He gave me this.
which released him. Everyone was shocked, but Kimiko offered him a warm hug. Omi then revealed that Dashi had given him another puzzle box to trap Wuya, though he admitted he did not know how to open it. Raimundo was stacking playing cards out of boredom until Dojo burned them. Kimiko noticed and asked why he looked so bored for someone ruling the world. Raimundo asked if they had decided to join him, but Clay firmly replied that he would rather kiss the back of a mule. Raimundo had not realized that Omi had already helped Kimiko, Clay, Dojo, and Jack escape. Kimiko calmly told Raimundo to let them go, while Dojo teased that otherwise he would just be a loser chasing after them. Raimundo warned them to run because he was coming after them, pulling his hood over his head. Kimiko told him to have it his way, and soon he and his golems chased them. Although they defeated some of the monsters, Raimundo summoned more with a snap of his fingers. After a while, he noticed that Kimiko and Clay were not flying away on Dojo, realizing it was all a distraction. He quickly recalled the monsters to warn Wuya, allowing the golems to capture Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo again. Meanwhile, Jack tried to sneak up on Wuya and open the box, but he failed. Omi also tried and failed, and their
To me. Raimundo, help!
noise alerted Wuya. She captured them, took the box, and reunited all of them in her grasp. Wuya then ordered the golems to crush them, but Raimundo grew worried, realizing he did not want his friends harmed. When the puzzle box fell into his hands, he opened it, and Dashi's magic trapped Wuya back inside. The palace collapsed as the explosion, the wasteland became green again, and Raimundo happily fist-bumped Omi, received a kiss from Kimiko, and high-fived Clay, while Jack gave a thumbs up. Back at the temple, Master
We'd have been Texas toast.
Feng confronted Raimundo. Omi and the others defended him, saying he had saved them all. Raimundo admitted he had caused damage but promised to do whatever it took to make things right. Master Feng offered him the apprentice sash, but Raimundo humbly refused, saying he was not ready yet, though he would be someday with Omi's help. Later, as the group rested, Clay remarked that it was as if Wuya had never ruled the world, and Kimiko agreed. Jack tried to leave, but Omi stopped him, telling him he had fought well and should stay with them to train for good. Jack rejected
Forget it. Next time we meet...
the idea, saying they would be enemies again, though he suggested that maybe one day they could all share ice cream. The group happily agreed. Meanwhile, among the ruins of Wuya's palace, Katnape discovered the puzzle box and purred with delight. The warriors wondered if the Shen Gong Wu were useful for anything besides finishing chores faster. Raimundo was still upset about not being chosen as an apprentice, and during chores he used the Shroud of Shadows to avoid washing the dishes. Master Feng reminded the young monks that peace might not last forever, then exposed Raimundo's trick. At that moment, Dojo interrupted to say that a new Shen Gong Wu had appeared. Master Feng explained that it was the Shard of Lightning, which let its user move so fast that time seemed to stop. Dojo carried them to the location.
Which is it? You.
Heavy rain poured down, and the thunder frightened him. To their surprise, Katnape had released Wuya, and Jack Spicer was also after the shard. He noticed it on a cliff and, with unexpected luck, defeated the warriors and flew up to grab it. Raimundo climbed after him but was blocked when Jack kicked down boulders and escaped with the shard. Back at his lair, Jack praised himself, but it turned out that his robot double, Robo-Jack, had stolen the Shen Gong Wu. Later, Jack and the robot used the shard to prank the monks and steal Wu. Master Feng explained that two people could share its power. Meanwhile, Katnape lived a spoiled life until another Shen Gong Wu, the Silver Manta Ray, was revealed. In the forest, Jack and Robo-Jack searched for the Silver Manta Ray when they
Now there's two.
met Katnape. She complained to Wuya that her work hour was finished and that she would not continue if it meant dealing with two Jacks. Wuya asked Jack to take her back, but Jack said he had a new partner and refused. Soon, they spotted the Silver Manta Ray, but Omi appeared and challenged them to a Xiaolin Showdown. Robo-Jack then declared
I'm a solo act now.
that he wanted to act alone, turning the match into a three-way tie. Raimundo wondered what would happen, and Dojo checked the rulebook. He explained that a three-way tie was called a showdown trio, which worked like a normal showdown, except the winner received 4 Shen Gong Wu instead of 3. Omi wagered the Tongue of Saping, Jack bet the Shard of Lightning, and Robo-Jack risked the Shroud of Shadows. The match began inside a sphere of tree branches. Jack attacked first, knocking Robo-Jack's head off, though the robot kept fighting. Using the shroud, Robo-Jack turned invisible
Ooh, I am so scared of you.
and overwhelmed both opponents. Omi then asked Jack for advice, and Jack, seeking revenge, revealed his weaknesses. With this, Omi took the shroud
Hummingbirds.
and used the tongue to summon animals that defeated Robo-Jack. Jack, left alone, accepted Wuya back. At the temple, the monks used the shard to finish chores in seconds, only for Master Feng to assign more tasks,
Looks like the first of the Shen Gong Wu just popped.
leaving everyone annoyed with Omi. At the Xiaolin Temple, the monks were meditating when Dojo suddenly scratched his back in pain. Blisters appeared on his skin,
Looks like the first of the Shen Gong Wu just popped.
but he sensed a new Shen Gong Wu. It was the crystal glasses, which allowed the user to see into the future. The team traveled to snowy Russia to search for it. There they met Vlad, a salesman who sold them cream for Dojo's blisters. He directed them to an old snow temple, where they discovered the crystal glasses on a statue.
I think technically.
Before they could take it, Jack Spicer arrived to steal the Wu. Jack suggested a contest without weapons, but he quickly cheated by sending in a jackbot. The monks battled it while Omi chased Jack. Omi tried to stop him with the Fist of Tebagong, but Jack used the reversing mirror to make Omi hit himself.
Oh, no! No!
Jack also got caught in his own trick and ended up with Vlad. Jack bit Vlad's hand and escaped on a snowboard, but Vlad recovered the Wu. Back at the temple, Vlad joined as a new monk. Raimundo was glad because at
Just like you guys, I still
least Vlad ranked below him. However, it was revealed that Vlad secretly worked for the Xiaolin side and planned to betray them. Later, the monks argued over who should test the crystal glasses, but Master Feng claimed them and used them during a game of tag. With the glasses, he easily dodged their moves.
The power of the crystal glasses.
The Wu was then placed back into the vault. Master Feng warned the monks that the crystal glasses were not to be taken lightly, and only the wisest dragon should ever use them. Everyone agreed, except Raimundo, who secretly swiped them from the vault. Hiding the Shen Gong Wu under his sunglasses, he challenged Omi
Never mind. You up for
to a strange contest. Raimundo easily dodged Omi's attacks, mocking him for being predictable. Omi soon realized Raimundo had been cheating with the crystal glasses. After a tense standoff where they mirrored each other's movements, Omi managed to snatch the Wu
This is where you belong.
back and rushed to return it. But Vlad intercepted him at the vault. He tempted Omi, reminding him of Master Feng's words. Only a true Shaolin dragon could use the glasses. Curious, Omi looked
Oh yes, my heroic destiny.
and saw a terrifying vision of the future. In it, Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay were beaten, shackled, and barefoot, while a dark adult Omi ruled over them. Horrified, Omi believed he was destined to bring only evil. His friends tried to reassure him, but Omi grew more shaken. Raimundo teased lightly, Kimiko questioned why he'd looked in the first place, and Clay wondered if he'd even used them correctly. Yet Omi was convinced, declaring he must give up being a Shaolin dragon. He tore his robe and ran from the temple. Watching nearby, Vlad smiled. His plan was working. Raimundo soon noticed that Omi was missing from the temple. He quickly told Kimiko and Clay while they were meditating, as Vlad quietly swept nearby.
Gone. He left a note and everything.
Raimundo showed them the note Omi had left. Kimiko grabbed it and asked if anyone knew about this, but both Raimundo and Clay shook their heads. Vlad also claimed he had no idea. Raimundo said he knew where to look,
Of a wise dragon to me.
and with Master Feng's guidance, he turned to the crystal glasses. Master Feng remarked that using them to find Omi sounded like the idea of a wise dragon. Activating the Wu, Raimundo saw Omi near a frozen river by Hawk Rock.
You should not have come.
However, once he looked again, he realized both Vlad and the glasses had vanished. The three dragons rode on Dojo, hoping to recover the stolen Shen Gong Wu and bring back their doubtful friend. They eventually found Omi at
But we'll take
Hawk Rock, but also ran into Jack, Wuya, and Vlad, who now held both the crystal glasses and the Wushu helmet. Raimundo tried to cover their tracks, joking they had used a shortcut. Though Omi refused to fight, he changed his mind after Vlad revealed he had tricked him by using the reversing mirror on the glasses. Furious, Omi challenged Vlad to a Xiaolin Showdown, a race along levitating paths. Using his strength and focus, Omi won, reclaiming the glasses and returning home with his friends. The Xiaolin team soon learns
Unusual powers.
that a wave of crimes in Hong Kong has been committed using Shen Gong Wu. When Wuya pressures Jack Spicer to train, she discovers that Jack has foolishly sold nearly all of his Shen Gong Wu, except the monkey staff, to buy robot parts for his latest invention, the Yes Bot. He sold them to Panda Bubba,
giving me a loan.
a powerful crime boss in Hong Kong's underworld. Panda Bubba arms his henchmen with the Wu to carry out large-scale looting. Jack tries to double-cross Panda Bubba by sneaking into his
No problem. I'll be
mansion with the monkey staff, but he is quickly caught. Panda Bubba accuses him of lying, since Jack claimed the Wu were only antiques. Jack then realizes Panda Bubba discovered the truth after finding his cheat sheet inside the jet butsu. Desperate, Jack strikes a shaky deal with the boss. Meanwhile, Omi, Kimiko, Clay, Raimundo, and Dojo discover who is behind the crimes when an old man tells them about the henchmen.
Uncle, the 11 on the west, and
They head to Panda Booba's mansion only to meet Jack and Wuya. Jack offers to team up, even wagering the monkey staff as collateral. Though Raimundo does not trust him, the others agree. But soon, Jack's shortcut turns out to be a trap, and Panda Bubba captures them all with the tangle-web comb. Raimundo, who stayed hidden,
They've been kidnapped by...
escapes with Dojo. Together, they overhear Panda Bubba's plan to raid the Xiaolin Temple. Realizing time is short, Raimundo races back, assures Master Feng he has a plan, and finally earns his trust. Panda Bubba's henchmen arrive at the Xiaolin Temple to steal all the Shen Gong Wu. One uses the Longi kite while another carries the rest. Inside the vault, Raimundo waits for them. He tells them they will have to go through him to get the Wu, and they gladly accept the challenge. Raimundo fights well, but one henchman uses the Ring of the Nine Dragons to capture him. He is taken to Panda Bubba along with the other monks. The henchmen hand Panda Bubba an old sack filled with fake Wu, including the stick of throwing, the large rock of hitting, and the shoes of running really fast. Locked in the same cell,
He thought those goons could take me.
Raimundo assures his team he is fine. The others finally apologize for treating him poorly, admitting they were wrong to trust Jack over him. Raimundo forgives them and explains he planned everything. He allowed himself to be caught while carrying a Shroud of Shadows-covered backpack with Dojo and the real Wu. Dojo cuts them free and a battle begins. During the fight, the star Hanabi hits the Yes-Bot, causing an explosion. Amid the chaos, Raimundo, Jack, and Panda Bubba fight over the Longi kite. This leads to a showdown trio, where Raimundo wins using his wind power and the Eye of Dashi. Panda Bubba is arrested, Jack loses most of his Wu, and Raimundo finally earns his promotion to apprentice. Jack, Spicer, and Wuya gained a new minion, Cyclops, a huge one-eyed monster who was very strong but not very smart. To fight him, Omi thought he needed to become bigger, so he used the changing chopsticks with the reversing mirror to enlarge himself.
perhaps explaining to Master Feng.
This caused accidents, and soon he learned that size was not everything. When he tried to shrink back, he made himself far too small. Raimundo suggested using the reversing mirror again, but Clay admitted he had lost it during a showdown with Cyclops. At the temple, Omi discovered the garden looked dangerous from his new size. He was attacked by insects, trapped in a spider's web, and then rescued by Clay. The monks gave him a miniature temple to live in until they could recover the Wu. Omi protested that being small did not mean he lacked bravery,
Look out! It's an enormous bee!
but a worm quickly scared him. Clay tried to reassure him, while Omi revealed Master Feng had warned that he must return to normal within a day or remain tiny forever. Kimiko, Raimundo, and Clay went to Jack's lair to
This is a sad day.
get back the mirror. Jack agreed to trade it for all their Wu, which upset Omi. Soon, a new Wu appeared in the Valley of Death. Omi grabbed it and
Me against your reversing mirror.
challenged Cyclops to a showdown. After a close race, Omi won, regained the mirror, and returned to normal size. Though he admitted he still felt small, Kimiko reminded him he was perfect just the way he was. Dojo's craving for Shen Gong Wu reached its peak, a dangerous event that happened every 1,500 years. Master Feng explained that Dojo must be locked in a cage for 24 hours, since the last time he escaped, Atlantis was destroyed. When the tunnel armadillo revealed itself, Dojo offered to fly the monks, but Feng ordered them to use the silver manta ray instead. Feng stayed behind to watch Dojo, while Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay left. At the same time, Jack Spicer built a new vehicle. Wuya thought Dojo being locked up would give them an advantage, but Jack clumsily wrecked his craft before heading to the snowy mountain.
Glove of Jisaku!
Using the glove of Jisaku, Jack stole the monk's Shen Gong Wu. Back at the temple, Dojo tried many tricks to fool Feng into freeing him. He disguised himself as Master Feng, a little girl, Omi's mother, and even Omi himself. Finally, by blending into the background, he confused Omi into releasing him.
Here.
Dojo grew massive, sprouted a second head, and began devouring Shen Gong Wu. When the monks returned, Omi convinced them of his identity. But it was too late. Dojo swallowed them, Jack, and Wuya. Omi escaped using Shen Gong Wu, challenged Dojo to a showdown, and trapped him in an invisible cage. Restored, Dojo remembered nothing, while Omi promised Feng he would never risk ending the world again. Kimiko tried to reach the mosaic scale before Jack and his robots could claim it. However, her Shen Gong Wu backfired, sending the scale into Jack's hands. Jack celebrated, but Omi, Raimundo, and Clay managed to take it back and destroy his robots.
It's a pity he's wasting his
From a distance, Chase Young watched and remarked that Omi was skilled, though wasted on the side of good. Back at the temple, Kimiko accidentally broke the mosaic scale. Afraid of being blamed, she hid the pieces in Clay's room. That night, a spirit named Sabini escaped from the chest and possessed Clay through his ear. The next day, Clay acted strangely, pulling dangerous pranks on his friends. Under Sabini's control,
If you help me find the monarch,
he began stealing Shen Gong Wu, searching for the monarch wings, which paired with the mosaic scale. Jack, also sneaking into the vault, saw Clay stealing Wu. Shocked, he listened as possessed Clay offered an alliance. Together, they stole most of the Wu and escaped after fighting the monks. Master Feng explained that if Sabini combined the wings and the scale, it would become unstoppable.
Then we must stop him at once.
The monks split up to search. Omi met Chase, who taught him a new move: Repulse the monkey. At the monarch wings, Omi battled Sabini until it
No need to worry.
left Clay's body. Kimiko then challenged Sabini to a showdown and sealed it back into the scale with her fire and the eye of Dashi. The monks praised her while Clay, unaware of what had happened, learned the truth afterward. At the Xiaolin temple, the monks were shocked when all of their Shen Gong Wu began glowing with golden light before rising into the sky.
Hold on, partner.
Omi tried to hold on to the star Hanabi, with the others grabbing on as well, but he was forced to let go as the Wu vanished into the distance. Meanwhile, Jack Spicer was playing basketball with his Ring of the Nine Dragons clones when he saw one of his Wu fly away. Wuya explained that the time had come for something powerful to awaken. Back at the temple, Master Feng revealed that once every 1,000 years, the planets aligned, causing the Shen Gong Wu
And each other.
to unite and form Mala Mala Zhong. This being would soon divide into the Fearsome Four, working together to destroy the world. Feng explained that the only way to defeat them was for each monk to master their elemental power. The monks later discovered Mala Mala Zhong had already formed.
A new Shen Gong Wu to be revealed. It is
Master Feng then told them of a new Wu, the Emperor Scorpion, which could control all Shen Gong Wu. Traveling underground with the tunnel Armadillo, they found the Scorpion, but the Fearsome Four had already risen. Omi bravely tried to fight alone, but failed.
interrupt your fun. But guess who
Jack stole the Scorpion and escaped with Wuya and the Four. Feeling guilty, Omi admitted his mistake. Master Feng encouraged the monks to improve their individual skills as well as their teamwork. Renewed, the Shaolin Dragons prepared for the battles ahead. The Xiaolin Dragons finally tracked the Fearsome Four to a house they were destroying under Jack's command.
I believe you have something that belongs to us.
Knowing teamwork was their only chance, the monks formed into position and unleashed their elemental powers. Kimiko used the fire released by the Zhongs, Raimundo guided the wind, while Omi and Clay shifted into their proper alignment. Seizing the moment, Kimiko grabbed the golden tiger claws and teleported to Jack, kicking the Emperor Scorpion from his hands. The monks rushed forward,
Let's go.
and Omi declared an 8-way Xiaolin Showdown, wagering their Falcon's Eye against the Zhong's Orb of Tornami. The challenge, called the Ropes of Darkness, forced each fighter to cling to a rope while trying to knock others into a bottomless pit. Dressed in showdown attire, the monks fought bravely, using the Falcon's Eye to guide their movements. 2 of the Zhongs fell, but all the monks except Omi lost their footing. With only him left, Omi dodged the Zhong's grasp and bought time. Meanwhile, Kimiko created a ring of fire that forced Jack and Wuya into the pit, removing them from the contest. Omi then used a water attack, causing the last Zhongs to fall and winning the showdown. After victory, Omi reminded his friends that they had won as a team. With the Emperor Scorpion in their control, the dragons broke apart Mala Mala Zhong, but not before letting the Zhongs play a rough basketball game with Jack, leaving him battered while the monks laughed together. The Xiaolin monks discover a new Shen Gong Wu, which happens to be in Tokyo, Kimiko Tohomiko's hometown. They are in search of the Xing Zombone, a Shen Gong Wu that can turn anyone into a mindless zombie. As they fly over the city, Kimiko reveals to Dojo and the boys that her dad's the world-renowned electronics tycoon, Toshiro Tohomiko. The other monks gaped as they realized that Kimiko's father is one of the richest people in the world. As always, they meet up with Jack Spicer, who distracts them with his new koi bots as one of his ninja bots gets the Shen Gong Wu. After defeating the robots, Omi, Raimundo, Clay, and Kimiko meet up with the latter's father at his video game company's headquarters. As Omi, Raimundo, and Clay are friends of Kimiko, they each get a U-bot, a small robot that takes on the personality and physical form of its owner. Then, Omi-bot wanders into restricted territory. Omi runs after it and scolds the U-bot, who looks back at Omi with big, sad eyes. Omi gives in and hugs his U-bot, but hears someone coming. He and his U-bot hide and see Mr. Tohomiko shaking hands with none other than Panda Bubba. Kimiko's father does not know he is the most villainous crime boss in Tokyo. Later in the factory, Jack trades the Xing Zombone to Panda Bubba for state-of-the-art koi bots.
Following orders. Xing Zombone!
Panda Bubba then uses the Xing Zombone on the company's workers and takes over the company, including Kimiko's father. They are all controlled and forced to do his bidding. Omi's U-bot, however, records this and shows the other monks.
You mess.
The monks return to the assembly room, where they decide to attack Panda Bubba. He orders the zombies to attack, so the monks fight back.
Let's hope
Jack sends in his new robots, but they are knocked to the ground by Omi-bot. Turns out that his state-of-the-art robots are just his old koi bots with cool new coverings. Dojo's U-bot knocks the Xing Zombone out of Panda Bubba's hands and onto a conveyor belt. Kimiko and Panda Bubba grab for it at the same time, and that means a Xiaolin Showdown. The game is Goo Zombies 4, with Kimiko's Silk Spitter against Panda Bubba's Shroud of Shadows, where the highest score wins. Omi, Clay, Dojo, and Jack watch the showdown's progress through the screen of a handheld game, while Raimundo Pedrosa herds away a group of zombie workers. Panda Bubba gets the edge early on and leads after the first and second levels. Kimiko, however, takes damage from the head-on fights, and Panda Bubba goes out of his way to make it tougher.
Talk to me,
Raimundo begins to worry and ask how she's doing, but Omi-bot tells him not to ask, which gets him a little more worried. Then, at the beginning of the third level, Panda Bubba is trapped in a web of goo from the zombies and drops his Wu. Kimiko grabs it and heads for the final battle against a giant Frankenstein-style monster. Using her fire element combined with the Silk Spitter, Kimiko wins the game and the showdown.
Papa, welcome back.
After being congratulated by the boys, they return everything back to normal, and Kimiko turns Panda Bubba and Jack Spicer into zombies, which Wuya comments, "Zombies, eh? This can only be an improvement." Shortly afterward, Kimiko, Dojo, and the boys all talk with Mr. Tohomiko in his office as he thanks them for saving him. Her father is very proud of all of them and offers to give their U-bots a free upgrade. Omi thanks him for his offer, but says that his U-bot does not need an upgrade since it is already the perfect friend for him. Master Feng informed the warriors that one of them would soon advance to Wudai warrior level. After some petty arguments about who deserved the honor, each monk became convinced it would be them. Dojo, unable to keep quiet but still uncertain, admitted he did not know who it would be. Soon, a new Shen Gong Wu was revealed, the Yin Yo-Yo, which allowed travel to the yin-yang world. Dojo stayed behind to avoid any further discussion, while the monks departed on the Shen Garu.
kicking.
You kicked his butt last time.
During the ride, Raimundo began feeling ill. Eager to prove themselves, the monks each faced a member of Jack's team. Raimundo against Cyclops, Kimiko against Katnape, Omi against Vlad, and Clay against Tubimura. Raimundo accidentally disgusted everyone when he vomited on the Cyclops. Kimiko used her fire element to defeat Katnape. Omi fought Vlad, and Clay handled Tubimura. Meanwhile, Chase Young slyly switched the real Wu for a fake, allowing Jack to claim it. Back at the temple, the monks confronted Dojo, but Chase suddenly appeared, leaving the room in pieces and Dojo Bot destroyed. They discovered Master Feng had been taken into the yin-yang world, but rescuing him was impossible without the Yin Yo-Yo. When questioned, Omi admitted he could not help,
I gave Chase Young my word.
explaining he had given Chase his word, insisting that honor separated monks from evil. His teammates reluctantly agreed to make future decisions by vote. Later, Omi learned of Jack's raid and sought Chase's help. Chase agreed, saying he only enjoyed crushing insects like Spicer, though he also tempted Omi with an offer to join him, an offer Omi firmly refused. At the temple, Jack's army was quickly defeated by Chase's Tiger Warriors, while the few Jackbots that remained were destroyed by Omi and Chase working together in perfect rhythm. Hearing the cruel laughter of the Ticklebot and remembering his friend's suffering, Omi lost control of his anger and smashed the machine to pieces. He then freed his teammates while Chase pressured Jack into giving up the Yin Yo-Yo. Without anyone noticing, Chase switched the fake Wu back for the real one, making it seem Jack had held it all along. He offered it to Omi, who was ready to accept until the others stopped him, insisting they should consult Dojo first. Although Chase was displeased, Omi declared that a true warrior should act before worrying, seized the Wu, and entered the yin-yang world. Inside, Omi found shelves lined with countless bottles and eventually located Master Feng, who remained unresponsive in deep meditation. Omi carried him back, unaware that he had dropped a bottle containing his good chi. His forehead dots briefly shifted and his eyes glowed red, showing his evil side had taken control. When Omi returned, he rejected his friends, claiming they had failed him, and chose to stand with Chase. Lightning struck as his appearance darkened.
What's going on?
His robes changed, and the world split apart. Chase declared that Omi's choice fulfilled the prophecy, while Jack sulked and Wuya mocked him. The monks watched in shock as Omi embraced the Xiaolin side, leaving the world in ruin.
That is where I choose to go.
With Omi now on the dark side and Master Feng still locked in meditation, Dojo, Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay tried to understand how everything had gone so wrong. Meanwhile, Omi enjoyed his partnership with Chase Young, embracing constant battles and destruction. Chase welcomed his eagerness, while Wuya remained unimpressed, and the other Xiaolin soon rallied behind Chase.
Ancient scrolls.
At the temple, the monks discovered through a Dojo Bot recording that Chase had tricked Omi all along,
And for Master Feng's scalp massage.
proving he had the real Yin Yo-Yo and was the one who trapped Master Feng. Their troubles deepened when Chase and Omi attacked the temple. The monks tried to explain that Omi was being deceived and had lost part of himself in the yin-yang world, but Omi ignored their words and followed Chase's command to attack. The monks fought back with Shen Gong Wu, yet Omi dodged their efforts and defeated them with ease.
The Shen Gong Wu are merely a crutch.
Used Wu to restore Wuya's human form, though she remained powerless.
What's the...
Dojo soon found a missing piece of the Wu scroll, revealing that Omi's good chi was still trapped in the yin-yang world because he had used only one yo-yo. Determined to save him, the monks entered Chase's lair, fought through his fallen warriors, and fled with the Yin Yo-Yo into the yin-yang world, where they found both Omi's and Master Feng's chi. Returning to Earth, they faced Omi again, whose Xiaolin powers overwhelmed them, leaving Raimundo and Clay brutally outmatched. Kimiko and Jack entered Omi's mind and managed to restore his good chi. finally bringing him back to normal. Dojo explained that since Jack had carried the reversing mirror into the yin-yang world, Jack's evil side had been left behind.
Interrupt such a nauseating moment.
Which was why he had now become good.
Monk, I am bound by my word.
It was cut short when Chase Young appeared above them, furious over what had happened. Raimundo bravely charged at him, declaring that Omi would leave with his friends, but Chase easily overpowered him. With frightening strength, Chase transformed into his lizard form and nearly bit Raimundo, though Clay saved him in time using the monsoon sandals. The monks and Dojo stood together, prepared to fight. Dojo even grew to his full dragon size and unleashed fire at Chase, but Chase blocked the attack and used a Xiaolin memory recall spell. Omi suddenly remembered that while under evil influence, he had sworn eternal loyalty to Chase. Realizing this, Omi told his friends to stop, saying he was bound by his word as a monk. Chase then used dark magic to change Omi into a small black cat. Declaring Omi his forever, Chase watched as Dojo carried Raimundo, Kimiko, Clay, and Jack away. As darkness spread across the world, Omi Cat looked out sadly, watching his friends disappear into the night. With Omi still under Chase Young's control, Raimundo, Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo struggled to plan a rescue. Chase now bore the same dots that once marked Omi's forehead, showing his hold over him. Meanwhile, Master Feng was stuck in a full-body cast after Dojo had accidentally knocked him down a hill. Jack Spicer, having turned good, was proving to be more irritating than ever. His forced kindness, like serving Master Feng tea, only caused trouble. When he fought Dojo for the kettle, hot tea spilled onto Master Feng, leaving him in pain. Since Feng could not speak, Kimiko gave him her laptop and a chopstick to type with. He instructed the monks to challenge Chase for Omi's freedom, warning them that losing would also cost them their own. Jack, overly cheerful, insisted they would win, but his unsettling optimism made everyone step back from him. Dojo soon sensed a strange presence at the temple. From the yin-yang world, the Chai creature appeared and attacked. Jack managed to trap it with the Sphere of Yun, but Chase and Wuya freed it again. The creature absorbed Master Feng's chi and then targeted Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay. Jack bravely split himself using the Ring of the Nine Dragons, restoring everyone's chi before his evil side returned. Finally, the monks challenged Chase to a Xiaolin Showdown, a soccer match. They declared that if they lost, they would serve Chase with eternal loyalty. Omi was in disbelief at the idea of his friends risking their freedom for him. Chase agreed to the challenge, but set the condition that no Shen Gong Wu could be used, meaning the monks had to rely only on their martial arts. Raimundo declared the game as Xiaolin Soccer, with the monks facing Chase and his jungle cats. Omi, now in cat form, happily rejoined his friends, while 3 of Chase's cats returned to human form and Chase transformed into his lizard state. The match began with Dojo acting as the ball. At first, Chase's team dominated with overwhelming power, quickly scoring 3 goals while Wuya and the jungle cats cheered. At halftime, Omi encouraged his friends to use stronger moves, but Raimundo reminded him that Chase had trained him in his best techniques. Motivated by this, the monks staged a comeback, scoring 3 goals. Afterward, Chase admitted Omi had learned well, but Omi insisted that Chase had taught him too well. In the final moments, the monks used the Dragon X Kume formation. With Omi alongside them, the move succeeded. They blocked Chase and scored the winning goal, ending 4-3. The world returned to normal and Omi regained his dots and good side. Chase warned Omi that evil still lingered in him, but Omi countered with belief in the strength of good. Back at the temple, Master Feng surprised everyone by announcing that all 4 monks had advanced, as they had learned to succeed only by working together. Since they are now Wudai warriors, the monks are having a break, but they hear this eerie, loud, and screechy noise. An old hag is singing outside most terribly. Master Feng thinks it could be a omen. He asks Dojo to fetch the Book of Omens. The singing crackpot just happens to predict the coming of the Bird of Paradise. So Master Feng sends the warriors on their first Wudai quest, to locate the Bird of Paradise. After Dojo gives the warriors vault access cards, Master Feng tells them they should not use Shen Gong Wu. They are only allowed to use their Wudai powers and a leaf that points them in the direction of the Bird of Paradise. They do not know they were being bugged by Jack Spicer, who decides to go for the Bird of Paradise. However, Jack Spicer was also being confronted by Chase Young, who wants it as well. As the Wudai warriors begin, Omi uses Leafy to point the way, but it points in the direction of the singing crackpot, who happens to fall into a stream, rushing towards a waterfall. Raimundo leaps in and saves her, but Jack Spicer uses the distraction to steal the leaf. Raimundo despairs that it was all his fault for getting distracted, but Omi, Kimiko, and Clay assured him that Raimundo did the right thing. Then Jack comes across a huge canyon, leaving a chocolate wrapper behind. He goes inside. Clay notices the wrapper, and they continue in the canyon of doom and agony. Chase Young starts to interfere by using his Xiaolin eyeball to control the canyon, making giant rocks attack them, but Omi is not fooled by his magic. They come across a huge tongue-like rock once they were pinned to a dead end, and they use their martial arts to defeat it. Then, Omi starts to climb boulder rubble but is saved by Clay before Omi could get crushed by the rocks. Instead, Clay says he should handle them, as the dangers are all made from his element. Gathering and focusing himself, he uses his new Wudai power to punch a hole in the canyon's side, giving the warriors easy passage out of the canyon, much to Wuya's disappointment. After following Jack's trail of litter, they find him taken hostage by fire-breathing squirrels, triggering Omi's deepest fear. Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay battle the squirrels, but Omi is paralyzed with fear and is surrounded by them. Kimiko jumps in and carries him to safety until Kimiko gets surrounded by squirrels herself. Omi rescues her, thanking her for her courage. Kimiko uses her new powers to create a wall of fire to repel the squirrels' fire, creating an inferno that chases the squirrels away. After seeing her mastery of her Xiaolin element, Omi gives her a huge smile, and Raimundo gives her a smile saying, "Woo! Way to go, fire girl!" Kimiko seemed really pleased at this comment, as she too smiled back at him. Jack, who is still in a treetop nest, then begs them to get him down. Omi and Raimundo use their new water and wind powers to wash away the fire from the battle, and Jack hands over the leaf. Following the leaf's direction, the warriors soon reached the boneyard. There they spotted a parrot. When Kimiko asked if it was the Bird of Paradise, the parrot repeated the same words, and they believed it to be true. Suddenly, Chase Young and Wuya appeared, and with Xiaolin magic, Chase summoned a zombie dragon. At that moment, the old singing woman showed up, only to be seized by the dragon's tail. The warriors quickly formed the Wudai Orion formation. Clay used his earth powers to strike, forcing the dragon to release her. Raimundo then caught the woman in the air, handed her to Clay, and led the dragon on a chase through the boneyard. He lured it straight into another earth attack from Clay. Afterwards, Omi and Kimiko combined their water and fire powers to reduce the dragon to ash, and Raimundo blew the remains away. Just as they felt victorious, they noticed Jack flying away with the parrot. Seeing their failure, Chase and Wuya disappeared, leaving the warriors with the old woman. The woman apologized, saying she felt guilty for causing trouble. Raimundo assured her it was not her fault. Then she revealed herself as the true Bird of Paradise, praising each monk for courage, loyalty, strength, and kindness, before flying away, still singing. Back at the temple, Master Feng explained their only mistake was assuming the bird was an actual bird. Meanwhile, at Jack's lair, Jack tried to interrogate the parrot, but its constant mimicry reduced him to frustrated tears. A new Shen Gong Wu, the Moby Morpher, was revealed. Kimiko and Wuya fought a Xiaolin Showdown for it, each using the Yin Yo-Yo and Yang Yo-Yo to dodge falling meteors and try to reach the prize first. Kimiko won, but before she could celebrate, Jack Spicer arrived with the parrot he had captured. The parrot stole the Moby Morpher and several other Shen Gong Wu. To Jack's shock, the parrot revealed itself to be the Yin-Yang bird and teleported him straight into the Yin-Yang world. At the Xiaolin Temple, the monks were passing time in silly ways until Master Feng reminded them of their mission. Since Dojo could not fly in the yin-yang world, he told them to use the silver manta ray to follow Jack. Meanwhile, the ying-ying bird led Jack to a prison. There, his good half appeared, warning him to stay away. Jack learned that the prison held Hannibal Roy Bean, the villain who once convinced Chase Young to embrace the Halen side. Hannibal promised Jack treasures of Shen Gong Wu if he freed him. At the same time, the silver manta ray crashed in the strange realm, forcing the monks to continue on foot. Good Jack met them and explained the danger, while Dojo revealed that Hannibal was perhaps the greatest evil of all time, despite being small. Omi, Raimundo, Kimiko, and Dojo soon reached the strange prison and found Jack inside, sobbing about being abandoned by Hannibal. After teasing him a little, the monks freed him, but their return was cut short when another Jack appeared. Both claimed to be the real one. To settle it, Raimundo used the Ring of the Nine Dragons to merge good and evil Jack back together. That's when the truth came out. The Jack they freed was actually Hannibal Roy Bean in disguise, using the Moby Morpher. The monks fought back with their Wudai powers, but Hannibal effortlessly blocked water, fire, and wind with just his hands, proving himself far beyond their strength. He slipped away, leaving them to retreat on the repaired silver manta ray. Back in the real world, the danger grew worse. Chase Young suddenly attacked, exposing Clay as Hannibal in disguise. The real Clay had been tied up and hidden in the cargo hold. Hannibal escaped on the ying-ying bird, vowing to unleash a new kind of evil. Omi freed Clay, but the mood was grim. Chase warned them all that they had unleashed something far worse than the world's end. Even the fearless monks looked shaken, realizing Hannibal Roy Bean's escape was a disaster unlike anything they had faced before. It was Chinese New Year, and all the monks received presents from their families except Omi. Wanting to help him, Master Feng sent Omi, Kimiko, Raimundo, and Clay on a quest to find his parents. Their search led them to a strange place called Omi Town, filled with people who looked just like Omi. The monks split up to investigate. Raimundo discovered two poor farmers who turned out to be Omi's parents. He later told the others that they might not be what Omi was expecting. Soon, Omi learned his last name was Crud, and though he hoped his parents had a heroic past, his father admitted their only battles were small arguments over chores and rice. To prove Omi's identity, his mother showed baby pictures, and everyone agreed he was truly their son. His parents explained that Omi had been lost years ago when they accidentally sold him with grapefruits, which shocked the monks. Wanting to impress them, Omi used his martial arts to finish all the farm chores, but he was left exhausted. His parents told him he should stay with them, as looking after the farm would be a full-time job. Though his friends reminded him he was a Shaolin monk, Omi insisted he was a crud first and that staying with his parents was the honorable thing to do. Sadly, he walked away while his friends looked on in disbelief. Dojo quietly asked Omi if he was sure about his decision. Omi sadly replied that it was goodbye, even though it hurt to turn away from his friends. Kimiko quickly told him it was not really goodbye, saying they would come back and visit, and Raimundo tried to smile. She added that Omi would also visit them, but both she, Raimundo, and Clay looked downcast. Dojo then flew them away while Omi whispered a last farewell, watching his friends disappear into the night sky. His mother called him inside for supper, saying they had his favorite chicken feet, and then hinted he could give them a sponge bath after dinner, which disgusted him. That night, as Dojo carried Kimiko, Raimundo, and Clay back to the temple, Raimundo admitted it was hard to believe Omi was gone, saying the little monk even made bad slang into an art form. Kimiko reminded them they should be happy for him, since he had found his family and finally knew who he was. Clay muttered that he was a crud. Nearby, Jack Spicer, Wuya, and Hannibal plotted to attack the temple, unaware Chase's crow was watching and reporting back to Chase. Meanwhile, Omi worked hard on the farm, exhausted and barely rested. The next morning, Chase appeared, warning Omi that his friends were in danger. Omi refused to leave his parents, believing his duty was with them even if they were difficult. When he turned, Chase was already gone. Back at the Xiaolin Temple, Wuya, Jack, and Hannibal arrived, ready to strike. Wuya smugly said it would be as easy as taking a Shen Gong Wu from a baby, but Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay were already waiting on the roof. Raimundo snapped back with a crib joke, and Clay added a saying about early birds catching worms. Jack chuckled at the diss, while Hannibal leapt forward, mocking Raimundo. Raimundo tried to turn the joke back on him, but Hannibal grew huge using the Moby Morpher. Raimundo called for the Wudai Orion formation, yet their attempt failed without Omi, leaving Kimiko on the ground. She admitted they were sunk without him. Jack sent his bots after Clay, Wuya easily defeated Kimiko, and Hannibal outmaneuvered Raimundo, tossing him aside. Jack managed to grab a large pile of Shen Gong Wu and laughed in triumph. Just then, Omi returned, announcing his comeback in his usual confusing way. Clay translated his words as "what goes around, comes around," though Wuya scoffed at the attempt. With Omi back, the monks tried the Wudai Orion formation again and pushed back their enemies. Omi raced toward the Shen Gong Wu pile, but at the same moment, his supposed mother reached for them too. A Xiaolin Showdown was declared. Omi won, only to discover his mother was a robot, part of a trick created by Hannibal using the Moby Morpher. Saddened, Omi realized he was still an orphan. Worse, Wuya and Jack escaped with some Shen Gong Wu, and the Master Feng with them was revealed to be Hannibal in disguise. That night, however, the monks and the real Master Feng lifted Omi's spirits by surprising him with New Year's presents, showing him he was not alone. Master Feng sent the Shaolin warriors on their second Wudai quest, asking them to find the treasure of the blind swordsman and, along the way, their Wudai weapons. He explained that the weapons would not be chosen by them, but would instead choose their rightful owners. The warriors began their journey, while Jack, Wuya, and an army of outlaw bots secretly followed in search of loot. Their first stop was Rattlesnake Ridge. While camping there, Dojo cooked expired soup, and the warriors found the first Wudai weapon guarded by rattlesnakes. Omi rushed toward it, but to his surprise, the weapon chose Raimundo. Their next stop was a ghost town, where another weapon lay inside the Last Breath cantina. A living portrait challenged them, but Kimiko trapped it by kicking an ancient spittoon onto its head. Yet again, when Omi tried to claim the weapon, it chose Kimiko. At Cactus Creek, fighting cacti attacked. Clay used his earth powers to push them back, and the weapon chose him, even acting fond of him. Finally, in a cave, Omi found his weapon, a small stick. Disappointed, he hurt its feelings, but after apologizing, he picked it up. The floor collapsed, and they met the blind swordsman, guardian of the treasure. He said they must defeat him in 5 moves. Omi cleverly won using a trick. The treasure appeared empty, but the guardian reminded them that true sight comes in many forms. Though Omi felt left out, the team rejoiced in their new weapons. The warriors decided to take the blind swordsman with them, but as they were leaving the cave, Jack Spicer and Wuya appeared and ambushed them. The warriors tried to use their new Wudai weapons, yet the Big Bang Meteorang and Arrow Sparrow caused more harm to the team than to their enemies. The Shimo Staff and Blade of the Nebula also turned out harder to control than expected. In the confusion, Jack's outlaw bots tied the warriors up and tossed them aside. Jack opened the treasure but found nothing inside. Shrugging, he and Wuya took the other Shen Gong Wu and the Guardian, leaving the chest behind, and escaped on Jack's flying train. Once the warriors freed themselves, Raimundo suggested that they picture what they were trying to find and believe in it. By doing so, they summoned the blind swordsman, who agreed to teach them how to use their Wudai weapons properly. The warriors were amazed, even Omi. Since Dojo was still unwell from his soup, Raimundo asked the blind swordsman for help. He summoned 4 flying horses to chase the train. On board, Jack and Wuya battled the Guardian in a Xiaolin Showdown. Using clever timing, he defeated them both. However, the warriors later discovered that the treasure chest had been taken. Dojo studied the sand and concluded that Hannibal Roy Bean was the one who had stolen it. Episode 5. Treasure of the Blind Swordsman. Wuya sat in Chase Young's lair, complaining that she wished to be ghostly again. Soon she sensed the presence of a new Shen Gong Wu called the Rio Reverso. Chase refused to let her go after it, but Wuya managed to convince his crow to help her instead. While the Xiaolin warriors and dojo were studying the Rio Reverso and its powers, Jack Spicer attacked with his jackbots. Wuya hid behind a rock, watching. The warriors defeated the bots easily, but Wuya used the Ruby of Ramses to throw Jack around, making it look like he was fighting them. Dojo found the Rio Reverso, yet Wuya tossed Jack toward it, allowing him to claim it. Raimundo grew upset about losing again and walked off angrily. Jack began using the Wu for fun, but after spilling oil, he accidentally turned it into a baby dinosaur. Inspired, he decided to build a dinosaur army. The crow spied on him and reported everything to Wuya, but later also told Chase. Raimundo tried to steal the Rio Reverso, but was caught, leading to another fight. Wuya again used the Ruby of Ramses to take the Wu, leaving the warriors hurt. Later, at an oil depot, Wuya created a full dinosaur, but Chase arrived, unimpressed. He transformed, used the eagle scope, and gave the dinosaur the power to think for herself. The dinosaur soon turned against Wuya, and Chase even tossed Jack toward her as well. Omi remarked to the others that they should probably help, but Wuya was already trying her usual tricks to force Jack into fighting the dinosaur. Her efforts failed, and Jack had to save her by using the changing chopsticks to shrink both of them. He returned them to normal at a safer distance. Wuya then tried to use the Rio Reverso to turn the dinosaur back into oil, but the creature swatted both her and Jack away with her tail. After that, the dinosaur picked up the chopsticks and moved on to Omi, Raimundo, Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo as they climbed the silos. Omi, Raimundo, and Clay each used their Shen Gong Wu, but none of their powers worked. Kimiko attacked last with her arrow sparrow, yet the dinosaur swallowed it and fired it back. Kimiko quickly used her Wudai fire shield to protect everyone, but the fire struck oil tanks, causing an explosion. Both the Ruby of Ramses and the Rio Reverso fell to the ground. The dinosaur ran for the Rio Reverso while Raimundo decided he had a plan. He slid to grab the ruby and touched the Wu at the same time as the dinosaur.
Silk Spitter against your Mantis Flip Coin.
A Xiaolin Showdown began. Jurassic chess. Though the dinosaur played fiercely, Raimundo tricked her with clever moves, ending the match with checkmate. In the end, the warriors debated what to do with the dinosaurs. Omi suggested shrinking them all down so they could return to the temple and keep them as pets. The warriors set out to claim the fancy feat, but Hannibal Roy Bean reached it before them. When they tried to stop him, Hannibal summoned the blind swordsman and asked him to defeat them. The swordsman unleashed a swarm of bats that overwhelmed the warriors, giving Hannibal the chance to escape. After cleaning themselves, the warriors turned to Master Feng for advice. However, he gave none, and instead explained that they would be training at a new
sayings. Now, if you want, I can
temple to prepare against Hannibal. Dojo objected, but the warriors reluctantly agreed. At the temple, they were surprised to find Master Monk Guan in charge. During a meal, he explained that one of them would recover the treasure of the blind swordsman, and Omi quickly assumed it would be him. The next morning, Guan woke them early and warned they must follow him without questions. Raimundo tried to speak and was punished with push-ups. After chores and harsh training, Raimundo grew frustrated. Guan mocked him as a clown, giving him the name Bobo. Raimundo broke down, saying he had nowhere else to go, while Kimiko and Clay comforted him. Omi laughed, which made Raimundo even angrier. Later, Guan announced that if Raimundo made mistakes, the others would be punished instead. Raimundo became furious when his friends suffered for him and quit the temple. As he walked through the forest, Hannibal appeared and told him he did not deserve such treatment. Offering revenge and power, Hannibal tempted Raimundo, and Raimundo accepted. That night, Raimundo stole Shen Gong Wu from the vault and attacked his friends, turning against them in anger while Hannibal watched. Master Monk Guan stepped in to protect Kimiko, pushing Raimundo back against a pillar while Omi and Clay avoided injury. Raimundo staggered in pain but declared that he already had all the friends he needed, just as Hannibal Roy Bean appeared on the roof in his armor. Hannibal called Raimundo his new partner and demanded they celebrate. Raimundo tried to throw him the sack of Shen Gong Wu, but Omi intercepted it with the Shimo staff. The sack dropped to the floor, and Hannibal quickly ordered Raimundo to collect the Wu while the blind swordsman handled the others.
I am most sorry, Bobo.
The swordsman summoned an army of spiders, forcing Omi, Kimiko, Clay, and Guan to fight with their Wudai weapons. Raimundo rushed to claim the sack, but Omi reached it at the same time, sparking a Xiaolin Showdown. Raimundo wagered the fancy feat, while Omi risked the gills of Hamachi. The contest was a sparring match on high columns over the ocean. Omi struck first, but Raimundo's fancy feat helped him dodge and counter. Omi then hid underwater, only for Raimundo to blow the ocean dry.
Neat. And when it comes to sleeping, there is no one who sleeps longer.
Just as Omi seemed defeated, Guan called a Shen Yi Bu all-in, wagering every Wu they held.
Another question? Drop and give me 50!
The battle ended when Raimundo collapsed from Omi's final weak strike, revealing later that the fall was staged. It had been part of Guan's plan, proving Raimundo had been chosen all along for the treasure.
Sort of like a guardian angel.
That's creepy.
The next morning, Guan rewarded him with Spear of Guan number 384, leaving Omi both amazed and disappointed.
Oh, it's bad luck to wake a dragon?
Master Monk Guan was meditating in the temple's training hall when he sensed a dark presence.
Some kind of great?
He asked Dojo to wake the others so they could search, but they found nothing. Raimundo complained and tried to sleep in the training area while the rest went to bed.
Look,
That night, Hannibal Roy Bean, disguised as a wasp, slipped into the vault and stole 2 Shen Gong Wu. The next evening, Guan was attacked in his sleep by a strange blue jellyfish creature. Kimiko, Clay, and Omi rushed to fight it, but the monster proved too strong and nearly defeated them. Just before it struck the final blow, it vanished. Moments later, Raimundo appeared with the blade of the nebula, leaving his friends confused. Believing Jack Spicer was behind the attack, they went to his house but discovered that he had also been targeted. Jack's robots had been turned into blue statues pointing to the Sapphire Dragon. Omi accepted the idea, taking the other Wu and using them recklessly.
Anybody else?
His unchecked power caused widespread destruction, which led Master Feng to suggest restraining him in the sphere of Yun. But Hannibal already possessed it, having enslaved Jack as a zombie, and soon trapped Omi inside. Hannibal carried Omi to a hidden fortress and placed him on a strange machine.
Some evildoer could use a
Omi noticed that Hannibal had created an army of zombie Jacks. He asked how this was possible, but Hannibal refused to explain. Hannibal ran a test on one of the clones, making it stronger, and revealed his true plan. He said he would drain all of Omi's energy into himself, and all he needed was a bolt of lightning.
Shadow Slicer is a lesser-known Wu.
Since the skies were clear, Hannibal used the lunar locket to pull thunderclouds over the fortress. Once the lightning struck, the sphere of Yun would release Omi's power and make Hannibal unstoppable.
chumps.
Raimundo, Kimiko, Clay, and Dojo arrived but were blocked by the Zombie Jack army. While Hannibal prepared the machine, the monks powered up their Wudai weapons with the elemental Shen Gong Wu and destroyed the clones. They then rushed into the fortress. Just as the sphere of Yun opened, Raimundo used his wind to throw the Denshi bunny to Omi. Omi activated it right before the lightning bolt hit, vanishing from sight along with Hannibal. High in the sky, both reappeared as beings of energy. Omi tried to fight with all four elements, but Hannibal easily countered. After encouragement from his friends, Omi focused only on water. This turned the battle, ending with both clashing in a massive explosion.
We'll call this one a
Hannibal escaped on the Ying Ying bird while Omi returned, drained but free from his extra energy. The Xiaolin eclipse hung in the sky as Kimiko shocked her teammates by defeating Omi, Clay, and Raimundo all at once. She explained that she had shrunk the mind reader conch with the changing chopsticks and connected it to her PDA, letting her read their thoughts before they acted.
Let me see that manual.
Master Feng praised her, hinting this could play into the decision of choosing the team's leader. Excited, Kimiko expanded the combo by adding the Eye of Dashi, digitizing herself through a satellite to read minds across the world. Testing it, she saw Dojo thinking about cookies, Clay juggling pigs, Omi holding up the world, and Raimundo winning soccer.
There. And for the record,
The others, unimpressed, scolded her, though Clay insisted juggling pigs wasn't easy.
You ever notice how he
Kimiko later spied on villains. Wuya admired herself, annoying Chase. Jack tested indestructible bubble bots only to drop an anvil on his toe. Hannibal cozied up under the ying-ying bird, muttering about warm feathers. Kimiko cringed. Soon after, Dojo revealed a new Wu, the ants in the pants. But too sick to fly, they used the silver manta ray.
Cookies! We gotta hurry.
Jack's bubble bots backfired, letting the monks win. But Hannibal, suspicious, sent the ying-ying bird to spy. It revealed Chase weakened under the eclipse. Kimiko's team attacked, but Hannibal and Wuya swooped in, leaving Chase beaten and stealing powerful Wu. Guilt crushed Kimiko, warned that Hannibal and Wuya together could spell disaster.
and you will all slip into...
Raimundo made a plan. Since the monks could not let Chase or Hannibal win, they had to make sure Jack was the one who did. So Raimundo, Omi, Kimiko, and Clay went to Jack's lair. Jack was trapped inside a protective bubble, but Omi woke him from sleep. Jack asked what they wanted. Raimundo replied that he and the others had decided to surrender. Omi agreed, saying Jack was the most powerful warrior. Kimiko added that they were no match for him despite years of training. Jack was glad they had finally admitted this. Omi then persuaded him to use his tiger powers to break the bubble. Jack punched it and hurt his hand, but Clay secretly used the fist of Tebagong to shatter it, letting Jack think he had succeeded. Kimiko praised him, and Raimundo said even others were impressed.
Spicer has taken his martial arts skills to a...
Kimiko then showed a video of them pretending to be Wuya, Chase, and Hannibal, all praising Jack's power. Convinced, Jack said it was time to act. The warriors then reached the cannon blaster. Omi joked about becoming a human cannonball, while Raimundo teased that he was already halfway there. Suddenly, Wuya, Chase, and Hannibal appeared. The monks prepared to help Jack, but when he was knocked out, Kimiko disguised herself as him to face the villains. She used the mind reader conch to make Chase and Hannibal fight each other. After a fierce battle, both were defeated. Chase hinted that he knew it was Kimiko, but walked away. Wuya also left. Jack finally woke, and Omi congratulated him, though Jack sleepily fell on top of him while the others tiptoed away. The warriors and Dojo were on their way to the Mikado arm, which granted great strength. Suddenly, Jack's new bird bots attacked. Dojo reminded them that a leader could be chosen at any time, so they had to prove themselves worthy. Using their elemental Shen Gong Wu, the monks defeated the bird bots and even destroyed the building they were hiding in. Together, they claimed the Mikado arm, each showing skill. Dojo scored them all 10 out of 10, but Omi still insisted that beating Jack would be the best way to break the tie. When they returned to the temple, the warriors tried to impress Master Feng with strange trophies they had stolen from Jack, such as a lock of hair, a boot, a belt, and even his underwear.
Oop, wait, I'm feeling that.
However, Master Feng announced that to test if they were ready for leadership, they would have to go on a quest. The catch was that they must decide the quest themselves with Dojo's help.
Maybe a magical dragon, but I still have a job.
Confused, each monk began spying on the others with different Shen Gong Wu until all four collided in chaos. To their horror, they discovered Dojo was clipping Master Feng's toenails, which made them run away in disgust. Soon after, Chase and Wuya appeared, saying they had patched up their differences and would remain together for evil.
If you wish to come, then you must do as I say.
Omi then shared a secret idea with Dojo. He wanted to go back in time and stop Hannibal Bean from turning Chase to the dark side. Dojo suggested freezing himself for 80 years with the sands of time hidden in the future. Omi agreed, and with Dojo's help, he used the Orb of Tournament to freeze them both. Years later, the tape recorder activated the Eye of Dashi, melting the ice and waking Omi and Dojo. They rushed to see the future, but found the Xiaolin Temple empty and all the Shen Gong Wu gone. A large robot ordered Omi to surrender, but he cut off its gun and escaped. Though he tried to fight with the Shimo staff, the robot rebuilt itself.
Baisa has his own prison?
Dojo hid in a pot, while Omi was captured and sent to Jack Spicer's prison, where he met older versions of Raimundo, Kimiko, and Clay. Raimundo explained that Omi and Dojo had vanished long ago and never returned.
See, when you froze yourself, there was...
Clay reminded him that since Omi had frozen himself, there was no old Omi.
He took all of the Wu and locked us up. That's how he...
Soon they were taken to Jack's Coliseum. Omi broke into tears, saying he had ruined the future, but Master Feng told him the future could still change. Using the Shroud of Shadows, they escaped and saw Hannibal, Wuya, and Chase trapped in humiliating ways. Raimundo then sent Kimiko to the vault using the Denshi bunny. While she searched, Omi and Clay fought robots until Jack attacked. Kimiko found the vault, and Raimundo helped her reach it, but robots broke through, killing Clay and cornering the others. Before Jack could finish them, Dojo activated the Sands of Time, sending them 1,500 years back. There, Omi was awestruck to see Grandmaster Dashi, Master Monk Guan, and a good Chase Young battling Wuya's army. Omi and Dojo Kanojo Cho found themselves 1,500 years in the past, where they witnessed Grandmaster Dashi and Master Monk Guan battling Wuya and her rock monsters.
Oh, this is a most wondrous time.
They soon met a younger Chase Young, and Omi briefly fought him. Chase was shocked when Omi performed Repulse the Monkey, a move that only Chase knew in the present. Omi revealed that they would meet again far in the future. Rock monsters attacked soon after, and Omi fought alongside Chase, Dashi, and Guan until Wuya was sealed in the puzzle box. Later, Chase met Hannibal Roy Bean alone in the forest.
Do not believe you.
I believe that you do.
Hannibal tempted him to join the Haylene side, warning that if he refused, Guan would take his place in history. To support his case, the Ying bird showed a false image of Guan, boasting he would rise above Chase. Hannibal then gave Chase the Lao Mang Long soup. Omi and Dojo, who had been watching, swapped the soup with pea soup, saving Chase's future. Hannibal was left deceived, and Omi and Dojo used the Sands of Time to return to the present. However, they discovered a worse twist. Chase was still good, but Guan had been turned evil instead. Wuya, Hannibal, and the monstrous Guan attacked, but Chase rescued Omi and Dojo, and together they fled on the crouching cougar. The monks and their allies were trapped inside a cage, but Raimundo came up with a plan.
Come on, you guys!
If they could defrost the original Omi frozen in the temple basement, they might undo the past mistakes. Clay pointed out it was useless unless they escaped.
But we only have the yin yo-yo.
Lao Mang Long soup for strength, but Kimiko stopped him, saying it would corrupt him.
But it'll give you guys enough time to escape.
Chase insisted he should take the risk instead. He told Raimundo to lead the others, while he accepted that in another future he became evil. Jack Spicer grew emotional at the sacrifice, and Chase transformed into his lizard form, breaking them free before running off to hold back the enemy. As jungle cats surrounded the monks, Omi remembered the location of Hidden Wu. Dojo released 4 treasures, which the monks caught just in time. Omi held the orb of Tornami. Kimiko grabbed ants in the pants. Raimundo received the cannon blaster, and Clay caught the lasso Boa Boa. Jack distracted the cats with his usual tricks, while the monks escaped through the cannon blaster,
This is the place. Here I am.
landing inside the Halen Seed Vault. There, they discovered frozen versions of Omi and Dojo. Before they could react, Wuya, Hannibal, and Evil Guan appeared with Chase already corrupted. Hannibal mocked their resistance, but Raimundo declared they would not surrender. Jack then fell onto the villains, giving Raimundo a chance to challenge Hannibal to a Xiaolin Showdown. Both sides advanced one fighter at a time, climbing the castle with their Wu. Hannibal struck first, knocking Raimundo away. Clay followed, but Guan used the Juju fly trap to defeat him. Kimiko replaced him and, cheered on by her friends, forced Guan off with ants in the pants. Wuya came next, defeating Kimiko with the Moonstone Locust. The villains then broke the rules and attacked together. Raimundo fought all 4, and though wounded, he blasted upward with the cannon blaster, knocking them down. Omi finally used the orb of Tornami to save Dojo and claim victory. After fireworks lit the sky, Raimundo was honored as the new Shoku warrior. Though unsure of what truly happened, the monks bowed to each other, ready for battles yet to come. So that will be it from us. If you enjoyed the video, let us know which character was your favorite. Also, do not forget to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for similar content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at the next one.